Oh, I got caught. What's happening, people? Welcome to LFC Red Forever channel. So we're gonna do the preview today with my main man, Mr. Harley. I know we normally come on at 2:30 in the afternoon, but you know I'm on the shift again, so we're gonna do it at night, 9 p.m. So let's do this. Let's get Mr. Harley on. How
Yes,
are
the
we?
boys, how are we? Yeah, sweet.
Oh man, it's been a hectic time since the last time I saw you, Harley. Man, you know, a lot of people have been complaining about obviously the ownership and the spending spree, and we're still saying even though like we haven't got time left, we're still saying there's time left. But we've heard this before, and you know, there's a lot to discuss. We're gonna talk about obviously the press conference first. We're gonna obviously listen to what Klopp is saying. Then we talk about the transfer, and then we move on from there to the preview of the game, and we do the tactics test to end it. So let's do this, Mr. Harley. Let's do this, Mr. Harley. Let's do this. What a handsome guy that guy is, eh? What a handsome guy.
Oh, stop it. There's no need for you to say that.
Come on, Klopp, not you. Oh, man. If he ever leaves, Harley, oh, man, it'd be the end, bro. It'll be the end, man. I'm scared, mate. I'm really scared, mate. Let me just check my volume. I apologize recently, people. Yeah, I hope my volume is all right today. I hope like you could hear me properly. There's no little glitches happening and all that stuff. I hope everything is all right. So yeah, we're gonna look at the press conference of Mr. Klopp in depth and listen to what he says. It's not even the thing is, Harley. It's not even that long for some reason.
No.
I'm kind of shocked. I thought it'd be longer than what it is. But hey ho, let's see what happens, isn't it? Let's bring it up. I guess you've listened to it right today.
Yes, but I didn't pay entire attention. It was one of them where you have it on, you listen to it in the background, and you pick up the key things. So I've not really broke it down and analysed it beyond surface level. So
yeah. Yes, people, like I always say, just like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell and all that good stuff. We need your help, you know, to get better and better and better. We're improving as we go along, aren't we, not, Harley? I mean, that's what we're doing. We're bringing it more or less every day. Even after work, we're here and we're still producing the goods for our people. So let's listen to the press conference, and we pick out the little details, and then I'll pause it and we'll discuss it as we go along. It's not going to be long. It looks like 12 minutes, so it's not a long one. So let's do this.
I can't hear him.
No?
Can you?
You guys can't hear him?
No. I can't hear anything.
Let me see. Yeah, chat. Can you hear him, or is it no sound?
Yeah.
What?
Let me know if this is on my end or.
No. Hang on a second. No. Man, what is going on with my streams lately, man? I must have pressed something to make it even worse. It's a strange one. It's very, very strange. I don't know what to do for me, because it should be on. It should be on, mate. What should I do? You guys can't hear it. There's something must be wrong with it. Okay. Let me try again. Let me know if you could hear him. Can you hear anything?
No.
Nothing?
No.
This is weird. It's one thing after another now.
So it's all good on your end. It's just me who can't.
It's nothing to do with my end. You guys should be able to hear it. Normally, last time we was all right.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So you can hear it.
I can hear it, but it looks like the chat is even saying they can't hear it. They say no sound for CC. So I don't know what to do about it, boys and girls, because it should be able to work. I have no idea what I can do now. Let me see what I could do. Is there anything at all? It's a strange one, bro. Like, this has been happening to me lately, and this is not normality for me. It should be working.
It's odd because it was working perfectly last time.
It's a strange one. You can't hear nothing at all?
No.
Guys, I might have to skip this one because it's pretty bad. You should be able to hear it. I don't know like what more I can do. Normally everything works fine. Now today it's not working fine. What weird stuff that's just happened. Let me see what I could do. How about now? Can you hear anything? No?
No. Still no.
Oh, I give up. I give up. So microphone is on. How about now, Harley? No?
No. That's odd. That's really odd.
Let me do this. Now? Nothing?
No. Oh yeah.
You can hear it, yeah?
Kind of.
Yeah, it's through the microphone, but that's why. Anything?
Let's see if I turn my volume up, will that?
No, it's not you, bro.
My volume's all the way up, but it's only I can only hear it very faintly.
Can you hear it now?
Not really.
How about now, chat? Can you hear now?
I don't know about the chat, but I can't hear it very well.
Let's leave it, bro.
Yeah.
So what's happened with this in regards to the press conference? What did you hear, bro?
So
I can't do nothing about it now.
Firstly, yeah, one thing that sticks out to me is he mentioned Thiago and Jones are going to miss out and won't be back fully training until Monday.
Yeah.
So we can write them two off.
Yeah. What's going on with the Konate? I've heard Konate is injured again.
He's a doubt for Sunday because of a muscle.
This guy, man, like, what can we do, bro? Like, he's always injured. It doesn't have to be, during the game either. If you know what I mean, like, it's just a continuation of the same stuff with him, and it's really getting annoying now. This is why people are asking for centre backs. If he's not fit enough, then who else can we use in that position? You know what I mean? We can't keep using the unreliable two, which is Matip and what's his name, Gomez. It's going to be difficult using them because they're not good enough, bro. We've tried everything for them to like be part of the team, and it's just not working. Oh, I get it. Okay. Now I know why it's not working. One second, bro. I found it. Let me try this. I think I found it. Unlock. Okay, I think I found it. Let's see what happens, bro. Let's see what happens. Is it now better? Can you hear?
No.
Still nothing?
Still nothing, no.
Wow. I'll give up. It's no point. Yeah, so yeah,
Apologies about that.
Huh?
Apologies about that.
Yeah, apologies, people. I don't know what to do. I'm trying my best to get the volume in there, but it's not happening. But we'll discuss it as we go. What do you think of Konate, bro? Like it's always same stuff is coming back with him, and he's getting frustrated. It's frustrating a lot of fans now. Like this is why they're asking for another centre back. If you know what I mean, man.
He's good, isn't he? He's a good player, obviously, but the issue there is, I think Konate, Matip, and Gomez. Like I think they're two good squad options, but the problem is with Konate is if he's injury prone and them two are injury prone as well, then you've got to kind of rely on the other players. But so you're just constantly interchanging them, and then there's no fluidity. You rely on Van Dijk to stay fit for the whole season then as well. So it's just with the injury proneness of the players we do have, it would just be nice, wouldn't it, to bring in one more. He said in his press conference, Klopp did, in an ideal world, we would have 5 or 6. He didn't write off the idea of getting more players in, because I feel like at this point in the window, if we were absolutely not getting anyone, he would just turn around and say, we're done in the market. And then we'd either get no one or we get like an Arthur Melo, Ben Davies, Kabak-esque signing.
Big up Jason. Big up Irmina. Big up Aziz. I know I couldn't. I've tried everything, mate. I've tried everything to like get it going. It's just one. It's like one problem after another for me at the moment. I mean, I had everything there, and all of a sudden things ain't working. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Yeah, but big up everyone that's come on. Redbird, big up, bro. Konate injured. Who'd have thought it? We're in trouble, bro. Like, I mean, Gomez helps the opposition more than us. He scares me every time he's on the pitch. All of us, bro. Not just you. Everybody. It's Gomez. It's not the Gomez of old, as we know, and it's frightening to watch him at the moment. And is there anything to add on, like, in regards to the team this weekend? So this weekend, Harley, did he say anything that's beneficial or something like that?
All he mentioned was Trent's okay. He said Trent's okay because there was concerns about him, wasn't he? Diaz, there was worries about him. McAllister, we obviously know isn't suspended. I think we touched on that on here. However, we will be missing Thiago, Curtis, and Konate's a doubt as well. So,
Thiago's not fit still. Oh man,
he said, yeah, him and Curtis come back on Monday.
Yeah,
back into full training Monday. So hopefully they'll be in contention for the Villa game.
That's good then, man. Because we need them at the end of the day, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So sorry I couldn't bring the press conference people. I've tried. The volume is. I don't know. I have no idea. I've tried it many times. I could try it one more time and see if it works. It's a strange one. It's a very strange one because OBS is letting me down a lot for some reason. But the calmness helps. We just keep going in it. That's all we can do. So let's try it one more time. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then let me know in the chat if there's sound or not. Because I want to listen to Klopp for once. I haven't listened to him at all at work today. It was a long day at work, bro.
Yeah.
Nah? You can hear
it?
Nothing?
Faintly, but again, it's very quiet.
Nothing at all? Huh?
No, just very, very, very faint sometimes, and then other times you just can't hear it. I don't know if you can turn the volume up on it or if it's all the way up, or...
I don't know. I've tried everything. The volume is up on this side. Maybe they don't want us to listen to him. Okay, there's no problem. We'll continue with something else. Harley, I was discussing about this the other day in regards to the ownership and all that stuff. What do you think, bro? Like, how they're behaving as an ownership? Are you happy with them to a certain extent or not, man? Because I'm worried, like I said to you, about the manager. Like, there will be a time the manager will say, I've done all I can. Enough is enough. I can't go any further because of like the treatment that he's getting from these ownerships. Because this is supposed to be the big summer. Remember Bellingham? Remember all this stuff we're supposed to be getting through the door? And we still haven't done that. I know like it's a bad situation I'm putting you in regards to the ownership, but how much longer can we take of this issues that we're having? Because I've had enough. I've got to be real. You know what I mean? And I spoke to you off air. What worries me is our manager saying, you know what, sod this, I'm off. That's what worries me next. And like I said to you off air, in life, if someone treats you like this, you wouldn't take it. Why are we taking it from an ownership that pretends to care? Even when they came against the Chelsea game about the Casado thing, why were they here? What have we achieved? What have we got out of it? Nothing. It was just an embarrassment to the football club. We shouldn't lose like transfers to the likes of Chelsea. I'm sorry, like I'm being realistic here. I mean, I don't care how much Chelsea's got. Liverpool is a bigger club. Liverpool is a bigger attraction. Even Emmanuel Petit came out the other day and said, if Liverpool offered the same amount of money or slightly more, the players would have come to Liverpool. It was nothing to do with the love of Chelsea. Nobody loves Chelsea. They're telling me those players that play for Chelsea love Chelsea. They don't love Chelsea. Let's just be realistic here. But, but how much more can the fan base take, Harley? Like, I mean, we've come to the time of the squeaky bum time, because it's coming to the end of the transfer now. Like, it's not even a week. I think it's less than a week now, and we heard this before.
I think
there's still a long way to go, but there's never a long way to go, because there might be nothing at the end of it, if you know what I mean.
I did say this on Alex stream. In terms of incomings and incomings alone, I still have a degree of hope, simply because of how quickly 2 out of 3 of the deals were done this window. So it makes me feel as though it's not unreasonable for 1 or 2 more to come in. Is it obviously statistically it's less likely as time goes further on, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. But in terms of, rather than transfer business, you're looking at the ownership and particularly how they've handled certain things. Like, for me, the Caicedo and Lavia stuff, it's ultimately, I see the frustration, but I don't get why. I feel like the only way to match them would have been to put down that 8-9 year long contract, and that's just stupid in my opinion.
I don't think you have to put an 8 or 9 year contract. You just have to match them for the transfer. That's about it, really. Then you could deal with the wages after that. You know what I mean? And just try to persuade them somewhere. The best thing about Liverpool Football Club in the recent years, we're good negotiators. We win our actual negotiation. Don't forget, Oxlade-Chamberlain was offered all that money before he came to Liverpool to Chelsea, from Chelsea, but he opted for Liverpool. So we can do things like this. It's all about the negotiation skills and what you're offering a player at the same time as well.
That is true.
You know what I mean? And you can't muck about with the likes of Lavia. Like 1 minute he's going there, next minute, there's a guy available there, so let's go for him, and then we'll probably come back for him. You can't take the piss out of a player like that at the end of the day. And Chelsea don't have it. They don't have an ambition to even win the league, bro. They could spend 100 billion. They could spend 1 billion. It doesn't mean anything, bro. It doesn't mean anything because they're not going to compete. They're going to struggle still, if you know what I mean. So this guy doesn't deserve it. This manager we got here, bro. Like, he's stressing out every single time. He's losing weight. It's bad, man.
It is for me a difficult one, because on one hand, he does deserve the absolute world, and he deserves to have any player he wants. I absolutely understand and agree with that sentiment. But then on the other hand, you have to consider the character of the player as well. Ultimately, again, I know it's probably a bit idealistic for a player to turn around and go, well, I want to come to Liverpool because I love the club, forget what they're offering me. But I can't imagine we were offering players peanuts. Do you know what I mean? Ultimately, if a player wants to go for money, he'll go for money. You might not agree with this. In fact, you've said you don't agree with this. And while I'm for giving good players good money, I think I just feel as though overpaying for the sake of overpaying, it's a slippery slope, because there is somewhat of a wage structure. Yeah, we did smash it a little bit with Salah, but then it goes to a point where how much can you keep doing that until your Van Dijks and your Trent and your Alissons all turn around and go, hang on, so you've just paid this kid who's coming from Brighton, 250, 300 grand a week? Well, you know, why does he get that and I don't? And so then you do find yourself in a position then, and I understand the frustration of that being somewhat limiting, but ultimately, you look at Oxlade-Chamberlain, it was his character why he wanted to come here.
Yeah, because he wanted to win things there. Yeah.
Van Dijk, it was his character as well. He wanted to come here instead of City. So I don't think it's impossible to find players. And I think Klopp is the kind of player is kind of man who would be a little bit idealistic and turn around and go, well, if you value getting paid a ridiculous amount over coming here, then what are we doing here? So I understand there's varying different views on it. I understand where people are coming from. I think it's a very, very kind of difficult one. It's a frustrating one for sure. And I understand that. But it's just hard when ultimately when a team, I would say rival team, a Chelsea are rivals, for the sake of the argument, say a rival team, but just any other team comes along and offers ridiculous money. I think they went for Lavia for the sake of mugging us off, mate.
Of course, come on.
And the thing is about Lavia, I get that we probably messed him around a little bit, but ultimately, if he was serious about coming and playing football, he'd go to Liverpool. But instead, he's happy to just take the long contract, and he's not even on the bench for Chelsea now. You know, he's literally in a director's box. He's basically getting paid to sit in hospitality.
Mate, we're in trouble, in my opinion, mate. Like, if we can't pay wages to players in the modern football, like I said yesterday when we was discussing it, the modern day football is different to what you're saying. Like, we need to understand that. Even Klopp said it in his press conference. I think it was after the game. He said that like, if you can't beat them, you've got to join them. You know what I mean? In wages and all that stuff. That's what he said. It came out of his mouth. So
to answer what Redbird's saying there really quickly, Klopp didn't say that. He said he did say that we'll continue to look in the market, and I feel as though if he wasn't serious about that, he'd just say so, because that's what he's done in the past.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So as I was saying, like about Klopp, like when he said, if you can't beat them, join them. I know what you're saying about the wages and all that stuff, Harley, but it's the modern day football, bro. We let these people come to this country and spend ridiculous amount of money on wages, on players and all that stuff, and then we're sitting back and standing still. Not only that, if you look at the actual teams in Saudi Arabia, they're targeting Liverpool. They're not targeting Manchester City. They're not targeting Arsenal. They're not targeting Man United. They're not targeting Chelsea.
I mean,
Chelsea. Although Chelsea got rid of players, but they had to get rid of players to get the new young ones in, if you know what I mean. And so if you look at all those teams, they're all what do they share? They're all Arab share. Like you look at Arsenal, Emirates Stadium, they get invested by Arabs. You look at Man United, about to be taken by Qataris. You look at Man City, you look at Newcastle. All those teams are still powerful, but the only one that's not powerful anymore is us, and we're slowly decreasing as well, brother. That's what's worrying more than anything. Liverpool Football Club should not be down there. We should be right up there, bro. Like compete with the best. If we go down there, we're in trouble.
Did you see Laporte actually went over there today as well?
Yeah, but Laporte is injury prone, bro. His leg is gone.
No,
his knee's gone. Yeah, his knee's gone. His knee's gone, bro.
Like, I'm saying
that's why they bought that kid out of Leipzig to replace him. You know what I mean? So that's what they did. Yeah. So there you go. So they know what they're doing, bro. I mean, Man City, they're overstacked in centre back anyway, man. They got John Stones, they got Akaje, they got Ake, they got Diaz, they got the Gavio, whatever his name is. They got all these players who's coming through, mate, and they got Stones. See, this is interest. They got Kyle Walker that can play as a centre back as well. So they're overstacked in that position anyway. So losing Laporte, who hasn't been the same for years since that knee injury he's got, that's a bonus for them to get him out of the books. But what happened? They signed another player. Was it
I do like the player when he's fit. But it's a case of his fitness and the money Saudi be willing to offer him.
Harley, let me say something to you, bro. Yeah, don't take this personally. I'm just saying it in a Liverpool sense. I love the city. My family lives there. I love it. I mean, I go there every year. I go watch games on a continuous basis. If you don't offer people money to come to the football club, there's nothing to offer them outside that. At least in London, you could offer them London. In Liverpool, it's not a city like London. There's no city like London in the world anyway. But that's what you could offer these players. But if you can't offer them the wages, why would they want to come? It's all about the family, making the family happy. Don't forget William. He wanted to come to Liverpool, but his wife said, I don't want to live in Liverpool. I want to live in London. That's why he chose Chelsea. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I do
wages
get that,
plays a big part. If you give them wages and you're telling them to move down there, more than anyone, they'll move down there. It's all about the money, bro. It's always going to be about the money.
If you look at it from a footballing perspective, though, you've got to think about getting to work under Klopp and getting to work with the amazing squad of players.
Harley, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but the modern day football's changed, bro. That's what people in the chat need to understand, and everybody needs to understand. It's not all about loyalty anymore. Loyalty, it's gone. Gerard's the last. Gerard is the last one, bro. I mean,
I'm not even necessarily talking loyalty, mate. I'm talking the perspective of wanting to come and win things. Because I think, by Man City, there's probably no better place to come if you want to sustain being up there for trophies. I know it was a bad season last season, but other than City, who's been consistently up there in the last few years under Klopp and under these players for all the big honours? It's been us. We were 2 games off a quadruple before. We've won the Premier League. We won the Champions League.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're living in a different time, bro. Like we're not there anymore. Now, like we decreased so much. Everybody's caught up, and everybody's taking over, bro. I mean, we're not even in the Champions League anymore. We can't even offer players Champions League football. You know what I mean? That's the worrying part as well. That's what I'm trying to tell you here, bro. Well, you can't even offer Champions League football. It means you're actually decreasing. And not only that, once these teams get to the top, they will make sure Liverpool go down. Hence why we talk about Salah. Alisson is being linked to Saudi Arabia as well. How much more could these players at this age say, I'll be loyal to Liverpool when they're at the peak of their powers? The only thing about their age right now, Salah's and Alisson, is they could only decrease now. There's no more elevating to the top. Their career is stuck here and next is there. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Wake up to reality. If these players don't get success right now, these Saudis are going to get all of them, mate. And I'm not even joking. Like, what? If the club is ambitious, what keeps them around? Tell me, Harley.
I am more than confident that we will be in the Champions League next season. I just can't see a world where we're not, mate. I don't think.
Mate, we got rid of 9 players and we only got 3 in. Think about what I'm trying to
it's quality over quantity, though, isn't it? Like,
yeah, but still, where's the rest? Where's the rest of the players? I don't think there's anyone coming. I'll tell you, hand on heart, I don't see anyone unless something desperate happens at last minute. I don't see anything coming in. And I said that in the past, and it's the same thing happening. I know Liverpool. What they would do to shut the fans up is buy a panic buy, or or get a panic loan at the end of the transfer just to keep the fans on their side. That's what they're gonna do, bro. That's all they do, these owners, man. I'm worried. I'm really, really worried, man.
It's one of them for me where I understand the frustration with the owners. I believe that what we have, though, is more than good enough to get Champions League still. Take the owners out of it and just look at what we have now for the coming season. I find it hard to look past us to, at the very least, get top 4. And that's the very least. I actually expect us to have a better season than just top 4. But I just don't look around, and I'm not particularly scared of anyone, maybe apart from City, really.
Look, bro, come on, man. We should have beat Chelsea in the first game. West Ham beat them with 10 men. It shows where we are, bro. And not only that, we're only 1 or 2 injuries away from the season collapsing if we don't get anyone in, bro. That's how bad we are at the moment. And it's scary, bro. But let's talk about this in the next one. We'll keep talking about this as we go along. This. So yesterday, myself, Anton, and Uncle Albert were talking about Salah leaving. We was convinced he's going to leave. Today in the press conference, Jurgen Klopp said he's not going to leave. So where do you stand with that? Because I'm still worried, you know what I mean? A lot of reports are coming out. It's just a matter of time before the player says it's time to go. But where do you stand?
I from the start, I've been quite convinced he won't leave this window. I think there's a possibility he could go next summer. I'm not ruling out.
Next summer is a different thing. But what convinces you this one is not going to come out and say, it's too good of an opportunity to, not to take, and plus we're not making the right signings to compete for a title. So what am I doing here? He could say that. You know what I mean?
I think it's very simple, and it comes down to a few things, mate. It's a case of you're going to be hard pressed to find somebody at Liverpool Football Club who wants to win more than Mohamed Salah,
Of course.
and who wants to make a legacy for himself more than Mohamed Salah. With all due respect, like, he's not going to go over to Saudi Arabia and forge a legacy as a footballing legend over there. I think he'll want to stay around for at least a few more years, build a legacy, at the very least try and compete for trophies, try and help this Liverpool side achieve its potential. And then once he's getting a little bit older, he'll still be the big name he is, because he is adored internationally, particularly by Egyptians, particularly by Arabs in the Muslim community.
Yeah.
So he'll still be that big name when he's 36, 37. And assuming the Saudi League's still kicking about, he can go and get all that money then. So I think...
But like I said to you, Harley, like, it could take an Arab team saying to him, mate, we'll offer you this. He's already been offered like something along the lines of 350 a week with that tax. So a day with that tax. That's what he's getting a week, but with tax. So let me ask you this question. If you was in his shoes, Arab, don't have that affiliation with Liverpool. Yes, you have this records and all that stuff. They offer you that much money a day. The same money you're earning in a day that you get a week with tax on top of that, but you don't get tax with this one. What would you do? There you go, Harley. It's a quiet thing. It's hard, mate. It is difficult. Forget that affiliation with Liverpool, but forget about that love for Liverpool and all that stuff. Salah loves Liverpool, I agree, but it's not to the extent he's a scouser and all that stuff. If this is going to improve him for the next couple of years, which is the latter stage of his career, he's going to retire soon enough anyway, and they offer him that much money, what would you do in his situation? Honestly, I'll take it.
I hand on heart believe he's going to stay for a couple of years and try and win things, and then he'll take the opportunity to jump ship.
No.
I honestly think that's what he'll do. Cause
that's what you think, but the whole world don't think that, bro. And he won't think that as well, mate. It's all about his family. You don't matter to him. I don't matter to him. None of us matter to him. He loves Liverpool. Yes, he scores goals and he's breaking records, etc. But when it comes to money, that takes over a person's life, mate. Especially the latter. Especially if he was 26, 27, something like that, I agree with you. Maybe he will think about it like that. I've got a long way to go. Then I could go to Saudi and earn that money. But now, what is he? 31? Come to 32?
Yeah.
So he's at the peak of his powers. When am I going to earn this type of money again? Never.
I would agree.
I have to take the opportunity.
The one thing for me is I always mention this when people bring up his age. He looks after himself perfectly, and that's why I think
it doesn't matter, mate. It takes one injury. At this age, Harley. Sorry to interrupt, brother. At this age, it only takes one injury for your career to be like going. You know that at his age, because it's hard to recover from injuries right now for him.
I still think they'd offer him a lot of money, even if he wasn't the same player, simply because of the name that he is. Because that's what they go after. They go after big names, don't they?
Yeah.
That's what I think anyway. I understand if people don't agree with me, but I feel he has that level of ambition where I'm not saying he'll never go to Saudi. In fact, I think he'll retire over there. But I still think he'll see out his contract at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Or at the very, very, very minimum, he's going to stay at least another season.
Mate, from what I've heard, it's imminent. He's going to probably announce it, like, it's time to go. If the club don't share the same ambitions as him, you know what the worst part that could happen, people, like even in the chat and people watching, our transfer ends at the end of the month, right? It stops at the end of the month. Their one continues, how long for? Is it another 7 days or extra?
It's something like that, mate, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Klopp actually touched on it in his press conference.
Yeah, so he's got time to think. And that's what Klopp is going to be crying about. He's got time to think, like, should I stay or should I go? If we don't make the right signings for him to compete for the league next season, start panicking, I'll say. And I'm not even lying to you guys. I don't lie. You heard Uncle Albert and Anton yesterday. Everything I told them came true. With the Caicedo, with the way of FSG work, everything came true. I know these people had their work. And I've been trying to warn people for years about them. and they're still doing the same thing. If they don't sign any players in the next few days, this man right here, right there, it's time to go. And I'll be worried. I'll be really, really worried. Because their transfer window is still open, people. I'm telling you right now. Redbird says, it's partly Klopp's fault, in my opinion. FSG were willing to spend 111 million on Caicedo. Klopp tactics don't work at times. We all can see that. See, people have even saying about Klopp now. They're questioning Klopp's position, his tactics and everything like that. Redbird, I agree with you to a certain extent. But if we can't spend it with the wages as well, bro, players ain't going to come to Liverpool. I'm sorry, mate. London bright lights is always going to take over a lot of stuff as well. So we have to be smart the way we, get players in. If we can't give them the London bright lights, you've got to give them more wages in their bank account. I mean, and this is I know a lot of people talk about we can't give people too much money, but it's modern day football. Unfortunately, because we've got rich people in this country spending whatever they want, and we're the only club that calls ourselves big that's not spending like other people, and I'm worried about that immensely. I mean, I come here today peaceful, not like yesterday shouting my head off with a bad microphone or anything like that. I'm trying to make sense out of something that's going to happen in the near future if we don't get this right, people. We don't get anyone in the next few days before the transfer window ends. We're effed. We're in trouble, man. But carry on, Harley. What do you think in regards to this?
In terms of which specifically?
I just said, if we don't get players in and their transfer window is still open, what do you think the likes of Salah and Alisson and all them going to think? And Van Dijk included. If money comes in.
It's a case of I can see, no matter what happens in this window, I can't see Salah leaving this window. I just can't fathom that. And I'd hate to be wrong about that. Yeah. Of course, I'd hate to be wrong. I just personally feel as though he has that desire to win. A lot of you might think that we aren't necessarily showing ambition in terms of certain aspects of the market, and that's I understand that. Mm-hmm. I just look at the team that we've got and think it is a really, really good football team, and Salah, he can win things here. He can still win trophies here over the next couple of years. Yeah. And that's simply why I think he'll stay. And then after a couple of years, he'll go over there and he'll go and get his money and he'll go and retire over there with his massive bag of dough. But I think I wouldn't necessarily say we're effed if we don't go out and get someone, but it certainly will put us in a better position if we did than if we didn't.
Well, yeah, that's what worries me. Tony says, I'm reading your comments today, people. I'm sorry about the other time. I was just working on my headphones and all that stuff, the mic. I'm sure today is better, much better. I've improved. Much appreciated for sticking with us. Please subscribe, hit that notification button, like button, all that good stuff as well. If you're new, we're trying to get to 2,000. We already reached to 1,000. Me and Harley are working hard on this channel, man, really, really hard, and the rest of the guys as well that's on this channel. Only way to stop them cherry picking him, he's talking about the Saudis, our players, is to say no, they are under contract, and ask huge fees for them, just like Daniel Levy at Tottenham.
I think that's what we are doing.
I think that's what Klopp said today. But if the player is unhappy and is forcing a move, it'd be more difficult to stop it, guys. And Liverpool Football Club, if someone does that, we've seen it with Suarez, Torres, Coutinho, the list goes on. Emre Can, he left for a free. If someone wants to leave, Liverpool don't stand in their way. And that's what's worrying me, Tony. You can't force players to stay if they don't want to stay, bro. That's the true fact. The wife says, get Alpha Melo back. I don't know about that. Dave OC Cop says, Dave OC or Cop, he goes on other YouTube channels. We'll try to bring him on one day and discuss like what he thinks. He's a Liverpool fan in it, so let's try to get him on and talk to him.
I think he's got me.
He said Mohamed Salah. Don't tell him that. He said Mohamed Salah is open to a move to Al-Ittihad. but will remain respectful of Liverpool's wishes. He's happy to stay at Liverpool, but is open to a move. In the last few days, he has been promised an offer to make him the highest paid player in the league. So he's gonna be more than Ronaldo. And Ronaldo, everybody knows Ronaldo is probably top 3 of all time great players in the history of the game. If they offer him that money, like I told you, Harley, what kind of man will refuse things like that? That's what's worrying, bro. That is worrying, in my opinion. But let's read on with the comments. Tony says, Salah is only 10 goals away from Premier League's top 10 ever goal scorers. Mo likes scoring records. Let's see in it. Let's see if he's gonna change his, if he's gonna change his mind or not. We have to wait and see. I love Salah. Don't get me wrong, people. With me, people misunderstand the way I go on about players. Even Steven Gerrard, I felt the same way about him. I'm always honest about Liverpool Football Club. I support the club. I don't support players. I support what's good for the club. I don't support players. I've even had a moment in my life and I said to myself, are we ever going to win anything with Gerrard? It doesn't look like we're ever going to win the league. Maybe it's time to let him go. I always think like that. I think at the side of the box. I don't think what people want me to think. That's the difference between me and other people. Yes, I stay quiet sometimes because I've been told to stay quiet by a lot of people. Yeah, just for the respect of the club. But when I see my club getting disrespected, like on a continuous basis from the outside clubs and plus the internally as well, I have to come out and say something. I've been supporting this club for so long. I've seen the good times, I've seen the bad times, I've seen the good times again. So if I don't tell my side of the story, teach people lessons, what we've faced in the past, who's going to teach other people? Nobody, you know what I mean? So that's how I am. But as you can see, bro, like with Salah, there's a lot of reports, saying he's respectful to Liverpool Football Club. He wants to break records and all that stuff. But what worries me, like I said to you in the beginning of this, if the club doesn't show in his signings in the next few days until the transfer window ends, I think we're in trouble, bro. I feel like the squad is very, very thin, in my opinion. Redbird says our squad is not so it's not enough. We can always guarantee we have injuries. Yeah, 100%. That's what I said to Harley, Redbird, which is a huge worry. Other teams have improved, and I hate to say it, but as things stand, we'll struggle to get top 4. But Harley thinks we're going to get in top 4. I hope Harley is right. I'm with you, Redbird. I honestly think if we don't strengthen, we're 1 or 2 injuries away of a disastrous season, and that's the last thing we want to see. Because we've already faced injuries on a continuous basis. We don't want to see it again, do we? We want to move away from things like that. But yeah, I agree with you.
To be fair, it looks like all the clubs are getting affected by it. I think Shaw's got a pretty bad injury for United. Mm-hmm. We have obviously covered Jurrien Timber's ACL, haven't we, on the channel previously? So to be fair, it looks like all the clubs are getting absolutely the brilliant as well. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's a case of we worry about our own injuries, and yeah, fair enough. But I look around the league and think we really aren't the only ones with this problem. I
hope we could get away with it. You know what I mean? That's all I can say. But
I think in certain areas of the squad as well, I think we do have numbers. Like our attack, for example, that is phenomenal. And no one's telling me otherwise that the depth that we have up front is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I like the depth in our number 8 as well. McAllister, Szoboszlai, Jones, Elliott. I know some people aren't a big fan of Elliott in midfield. I think with the right players around him, it's sound. In terms of pure numbers, you've got Thiago, Endo and Basheta. Now, you can question the quality. Yeah. That's an understandable argument. But we do have 3 players who can play there, including 2 who are specialist defensive midfielders. McAllister can cover there. Jones can cover there if needs be. Yeah. We've got 2 left backs. We've got the right number of centre backs, but 3 out of 4 of them are quite injury prone. So I understand the need to bring another one in. But in terms of defensive midfielder, I don't think it's numbers. I just think the argument that can be made there is quality. Yeah. But I like our numbers around the squad. I just think centre back could do with 1 more in terms of numbers, and then the quality of the defensive midfielder there can be a debate about that. But I think we are much better off than people do think. Although I do acknowledge where we need to improve, of course, or where we could improve at the very least.
100%, bro. 100%. GG says, I don't think any player would say no for such money. It's a life-changing scenario. As Salah will leave. Mark my words. That money, he's getting the same money that he's earning right now at Liverpool Football Club with no tax. And sorry, Harry, my family.
Yeah, no
worries. Got the lights on the unit. Yeah, so he's gonna get the same money that he's on at Liverpool Football Club, but with no tax and daily basis. So that might not come next season. That might not come the season after if he stays at Liverpool Football Club. So things change in life. You know what I mean? So if the player doesn't take the opportunity right now, what says next season that same opportunity will come to him. So this is what the agents come in and the advisors come in for Salah. That's what worries me more than anything. And if they come in and tell him things like that, they might actually drive him away from Liverpool Football Club, guys, boys and girls. Sorry. So that's a worrying sign. That's a worrying sign, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. We will like see how it goes. This is what we was linked with today. Kone. I know you've heard about this all around Twitter. What do you think of Kone, bro? Like, I think he's a good player. I think he's suitable at Liverpool Football Club. But the only thing that's deficiency from his performances is like he's always injured. That's the problem, and this is what Liverpool worry about. Yeah. But I said to one of my mates, is why don't we get him at Liverpool, get him fit to the standards, like the injuries won't come as often. Like get him fit, because you know when you're young, you get injured a lot, don't you? Because your body's still growing.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah. The biggest example I can think of with that is Curtis. He gets a lot of stick for being injury prone, but the longest time he's ever been out was because he had his eye poked out, which you can't help. That's just a freak accident. That's
a freak accident. Like continue. So Firmino at Tottenham, when Vertonghen poked him in the eye, and then his eye was pretty bad, wasn't it, at that time?
And then you've got and then the rest of it is just bone growth, which is very natural for players like under the age of say 24, 23. Exactly. Very natural. Some players suffer with it worse than others. Calvin Ramsey, I think, suffers with it quite a bit.
Steven Gerrard back in the day.
It's one of them things now where with the modernisation of us being able to understand these things through sports science more, we have to take precautions for the sake of the players' longer term development. Because in the past, you're probably talking like the 2000s, the 90s, the 80s in particular, you'd be running them players into the ground because you don't have that level of understanding.
Yeah.
Or that level of duty of care to take these precautions. So that's what I think.
Yeah, 100%. Tony says that the money will be there in 1 or 2 years' time. In fact, he delays this year. It will probably increase. Maybe, bro. But you never know. Like I said, that opportunity sometimes in life comes once. And Salah is not at the age that he can refuse things as well. That's what you got to look at, Tony. He's at the age. If something good comes along, take the opportunity. That's what worries me.
I have to ask, Fozzy, in a world where we have to sell him, which I absolutely touch wood, hope that just doesn't happen.
How much would you take, Harley? That's what I want to ask.
That's what I'm about to. That's what I'm asking, mate. Because for me, I don't even answer the phone unless it's 150 plus. Realistically, I'd be wanting 200 million. I'd be wanting a world record fee.
Exactly.
Because if you're going to make him the highest paid player in the world, I want.
You can afford 200 million as well. Yeah, you can afford 200 million, then, innit? If you want the player that desperately, then they can
200 million on top of the 100 million we've already got that we probably were bidding on Caicedo. Give Klopp 300 million to rebuild this Liverpool team, even without Salah. You know what, mate? I'm not even that worried because we've been through this with Coutinho. We've been through this in the past with Suarez, and yeah, it took us a few years to get back to where we were with Brendan Rodgers. That wasn't very helpful situation. Torres, we thought losing him was devastating, but again, Suarez come straight in and done what he was doing. Ultimately, mate, I'm not saying there's anyone out there that can directly replace Salah, but I genuinely believe as long as we've got Jurgen Klopp, we will be fine. I've always said I would get rid of every single one of these players from Salah all the way down to under 5 level if it meant we could keep Klopp forever.
Yeah, I like Kone, but I'm looking at Kone. I really like him. They say anything Liverpool says there's also Kone to consider. I heard Gladbach is also expecting an offer from Liverpool soon because after his injury, he's become cheaper. Before a suitor would have to pay about 50 million euros. Now you can get him perhaps for about 35 euros. So it's around, what is it? Probably
27 to 30 million.
27 to 30 million. That's not bad for Kone. What is he, 21, 22? He's not that old, is he, either?
I think he just about qualifies as taking up a non-homegrown spot, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I think, don't quote me on that, because that might be that might not be true. But like, that's a decent price for the player, and always is injury.
As a player, what do you think of him, brother? I know you watch these players thoroughly.
I think he's boss. I don't know if he's necessarily an out-and-out 6, but I reckon he can be moulded into that. And his ability to just play box to box and carry the ball forward is silly. Like, his dribbling ability is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, you can see like a lot of people have been writing about it today as well, man. The Cop Times says Borussia Mönchengladbach are expecting an offer from Liverpool for Manu Kone. The price tag for French midfielder is purportedly around £40 million. Set at £40 million. Oh, well, if it's that much, considering what Liverpool have been offering other clubs for players, that's a cheap buy. How old is he, Harley? Like, what's his age? 21, isn't it? Something like that.
22, I think. Look
at that. That's the future, man. And like you said, Klopp is the type of manager that could mold these players into something that they've never done before. You look at Gini Wijnaldum, he moved from an attacking midfielder to a number 8 to a defensive midfielder, so he could do things like that. And I look at this player technically, physically, mentally. He looks like that type of player that you could actually put in that midfield and he will battle. He will battle for you to the hill. What I like about him is technically he's sound and physically he's sound, and the way he passes the ball, he always reaches the players that he passes to as well. You know what I mean? So we already got those type of players in the team with Szoboszlai and McAllister. So if you got another person who's young that's going to complement them in that midfield with his ability as well to work hard and, you know, to win balls back, to, you know, to work for the team, mate, you know, challenging for a title ain't that far off, if you know what I mean, Harley.
Yeah, mate, I really think that I wouldn't mind having, if we bring this player in and Klopp coaches him behind the scenes to become this model number 6 that he probably can be, I really don't mind starting Endo for 6 or 12 months while he adapts to that role behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I really don't mind having Wataru Endo, who by all accounts...
Endo it's not at the end of his career, is he? He's 30 years old, so he's in peak now. So
the underlying data looks really, really good. I don't think that's what people don't understand. Even if we don't bring in the specialist 6 that we probably all want and we probably need in the long term, if he's the starter for just this season, or if he's at the very least rotating with Bichette, that ultimately will be a good, what you kind of call it, a good short-term solution while we go and get our man. Because I feel like a problem that we've had in the past, and a lot of people will agree, is that when we get too caught up on the whole go for the right player thing, what we tend to do is not bring in someone as, not a stopgap, but, you know, a player who's just about good enough, but not elite. That's what I think Endo is. And I feel like if we can't get this 6 that we really want, I can cope with him and Bichette and Thiago whenever he's fit, obviously, being the temporary kind of stopgaps while we bring in a top player. Like maybe Check the Corey, maybe someone else. Adeli and Chouameni, God, if you're listening to me, please make that happen. I will do anything. But like realistically, we know that won't happen.
Chouameni, yeah? Oh, why not, man? Why not? I mean, you could read that one, mate, for you, mate.
Yeah, has God loves the dreamer. Everyone has a price tag, even our Egyptian king. Red Bear, mate, I don't doubt that. But I go back to what one of the comments said, in the sense that he can probably afford to wait a few more years and they'll pay him the same, if not more. I genuinely believe, yeah, he'll want money, don't get me wrong, but I feel as though he's driven enough by a desire to be known as an all-time footballing great. I genuinely think that desire drives him. And I think he genuinely is. There's an argument to be made. He's more bothered than anyone at the club about winning trophies. So I think he'll stick at it and then go and get the exact same amount of money he could have got at the end.
Like I said, the most dangerous thing we could play here, Redbird and Harley, is not sign players. If he sees that's not happening, I'm sure, like Harley just said, that he's a driver of winning trophies. If he doesn't see any players coming through the door to strengthen that team to win trophies, I can see him during when the transfer window closes that he's gonna say his goodbyes and probably head over to Saudi Arabia. Because listen, money talks, number one. Number two, ambition drives people. And if you haven't got those two things in one club, then players will go and look elsewhere. Like I
My
said,
response to that,
go on.
I see where you're coming from, but where's the ambition in going to Saudi Arabia?
Money.
Yeah, money
unlimited money. Harley,
it's two separate things,
Harley, like I said to you, if you was in his situation, there is no way your family would say to you, don't take that opportunity. There's no way. That's impossible in life. Someone saying no to 350k a day.
Oh, if this was his only chance he'll ever get to take that deal, I've got no doubt he'd rip our arm off for it. But
okay, let me ask you something. Say you work, say £5 an hour in a shop, but in the other one they're gonna give you £50 an hour. What would you still stay at the £5 an hour, or are you gonna go to the £50 an hour?
Of course, I'm taking the £50 an hour.
There you go. There you go. This is what he's gonna get, bro. This is what I'm looking. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is how he's gonna see it. You know what I mean? This is how it is. This is his job. That's a job to us as well. I ain't gonna stay for £5 an hour. I'm going to do £50 an hour.
No, but you do have to kind of. I see where you're coming from, but you do have to acknowledge there's a little bit of difference.
I know what you're saying. Like,
us working a £5 an hour job isn't going to fulfill our legacy.
Well, that's how he sees it. You know what I mean? But look, he's getting was it 350 a week plus tax. So he's not gonna get the full money. He's gonna get 200 or something. You know what I mean? So
of course.
After tax.
And that's why I'm saying that if this was his only chance, he knew it was his only chance he'd ever get. He'd take it. But I'm saying that because he's such a legend of the game.
Football's a short span. Like he could play for Liverpool, like the way you want him to play, but he could get a serious injury that will never let him play in that league. But at least if he goes there and signs a contract, even with injury, he'll still get that money until the end of his contract. I mean, there you go. Unless he terminates it. So there you go. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If he gets a serious knee injury and he can't do what he could do anymore, do you think the Saudi Arabia is going to look at him? Hell no. They'll look somewhere else. So that's what I'm trying to tell you.
I do think his name is so big that as long as he can still kick a ball around, they pay him.
I don't think so, bro.
One
injury can just end his career, brother. One injury, mate. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, and
it would be sod's law that, though, considering how well he looks after himself. Like, God forbid that happens. I want nothing but the best for the fella. And you know what, Foz? If he wants to leave, honestly, I don't want him to, but if he wants to, he can. Because I know that we'll get good money for it, and I trust us to invest that money.
Yeah.
I just it's one of them where there's a silver lining either way. We either get to keep arguably the best player in world football, or one of the best players in world football, or we get loads and loads of money that we can probably spend quite wisely and rebuild the entire team and build.
Listen, as long as they offer us like good finance, like Harley said, 150, 180, whatever it is, like that's good enough for Liverpool to invest in the team. But with me, I'm always thinking about the football club. With these owners, I don't know what we're going to get in return. I really don't know what we're going to get in return. That money, we said the Nike money is coming in. We said the Redbird money is coming in. We said Stanton Charters is coming in. We said AXA is coming. All this money is supposed to be coming to Liverpool Football Club. Where is it? We don't see it. It's going inside to the FSG account, not the Liverpool account. So we're always distant from things like this. It's crazy. It's like, the Matrix. Everything's deflected off Liverpool. Nobody's like.
That's what it is, mate. They try and build the best business they can. So when they flip it and sell it on, they'll make the most profit. They don't take nothing out of it because they know that it's damage.
So they say, but they're still buying football clubs and all that stuff.
And they definitely don't put anything into it.
Nah, they don't. Well, look at the stand. It's gone bust now, isn't it? They need to get money somehow. There is no way we will sell him. I'm doing it like an actor. There's no way we will sell him when the window is shut. When the window shuts, that's what Tony said. There's no way.
Hollywood needs to get onto you, lad. Hollywood needs to get straight onto you.
There's no way we'll sell him. Money talks. Money talks, man. Remember the $1 million man back in the day in wrestling?
Yeah.
Everybody had a prize for the $1 million man.
Yeah.
And that laugh he used to do. I used to love it. But yeah, before possibility, yeah. Tony says Salah will go next summer, definitely. I don't know. We have to wait and see. Daz was in the house. He says, what do you think about who's this?
Adeyemi.
Who's he play for?
He used to play for Dortmund. I think he's moved to Bayern now.
Yeah. Oh, is he Brazilian or what is he? This kid?
I think he's German. I'm not sure if he's getting confused with Bayoko from PSV. We're linked with, because as far as I'm aware, we've got no links to Adeyemi. But yeah, if you are referring to what's his name, Karim Adeyemi, he plays for Bayern Munich now, I believe. I think he's a decent little player. I think a lot of Liverpool fans actually wanted him when he was at Dortmund. So, or he might still be at Dortmund, actually. I don't know. He was definitely linked to Bayern, but I do like the player. I assume if you're asking about him, he would have stayed with Dortmund.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't say I've watched loads of him since 2021 time. But I like the player. He's something like 21, 22 years old. I'm just wondering why they've asked about that. Because I've not heard any concrete links, or is it just an idea?
He's just asking. He's asking.
Oh, okay.
What do you think of him as a player? Why don't we go for a player like that? He's saying.
I've heard links of a PSV winger called Bakayoko, who's left-footed right winger. Something like 19, 20 years old for him. PSV Eindhoven. And I think I've tweeted out that I think he's raw. Got a lot of raw talent. I quite like the kid.
Yeah, I know what I mean. Yeah, I've seen him. I don't know his name, but I'm sure he played for Red Bird Salzburg and all that stuff. Red Bull Salzburg,
they got him from Salzburg.
That's what I remember him from. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he's a good player. He's a forward, you know what I mean? But do we need any more forwards at Liverpool Football Club, guys?
Yeah,
I think we're stacked. I think we're overstacked with that. If Salah leaves, you never know, you know what I'm saying? The money's there. But is it enough time to get players? That's the thing. Yeah, Salah's got to be true to his word then. I mean, because, time is ticking, guys. Time is ticking. So, as it says on there, it says, at OC Bayern says Borussia Mönchengladbach are expecting Liverpool to bid for Manu Kone very soon. So majority of the reports around Twitter are saying similar things. So it must be something happening behind the scenes that we don't know about, and especially Smacker, who's our recruitment director. He must be working on something in Germany as well, because that's what he does majority of the time. Redbird says, I agree with Fozzie. Klopp is the best manager for us. I'm not slating him, but keep it real. His tactics at times are questionable, i.e. how many minutes did he give Nunes on Saturday? Poor tactics for me. You are right, Mr. Redbird. I saw Nunes storming off like a little baby, and I don't blame him for that, to be honest. 5 minutes at the end, it is taking the piss out of a player, let's be honest there. But then again, we had a man sent off, so he could have had more minutes if you think about it that way. We had to be careful not to concede a goal, because when Liverpool concede a goal, especially with 10 men, it would be more difficult for them, because it's hard to keep it out, innit, Harley? Sometimes.
He actually said, Klopp in his press conference, not directly about Nunes, but he said, we brought Endo on earlier than we planned to because of the 10 men. And given the circumstances, he was exceptional, or something to that degree. I might have paraphrased it a little bit, But that's the gist of what he said. So to me, that implies he could have had other substitutes planned.
Yeah.
But
the sending off messed up a lot of things.
And the first thing we needed to do was solidify ourselves defensively. And as much as Núñez runs his legs off and works his absolute heart out, like you're probably not looking at him and thinking, we need to control this game as much as possible. Let's put on probably our most chaotic forward. And I don't mean that as in a disrespectful way to Núñez. I actually love what he brings to the table. But I think in that particular circumstance, he wasn't what we needed. I actually think he'll get some decent minutes, if not start, against Newcastle. Depending on how he's getting on in training.
Listen, in my opinion, they have a plan for him. They have a plan for Núñez.
100%.
Yeah, there's no way to give him the number 9 and keep him around if they have no plans. Like Klopp said, he had a player similar to him in the past, which is Lewandowski, and he's gonna improve him the similar way. So just take a seat.
He had a good pre-season as well.
Yeah. The French newspaper says Manu Kone, basically at Liverpool, are still in the race for the Borussia Mönchengladbach midfielder. Rumours initially called after his knee injury versus Switzerland. Obviously, it was the under-21s championship, wasn't it? But the extent of the knee injury was not as severe as first feared. So, as you can see, people, we thought he had a ligament injury. We thought we was doctors, but he hasn't got a ligament injury. It was just a normal, little knock, and he's recovered. He's back at training. He's playing now, and the kid's back to his best already. So there's a possibility Liverpool can go back in for him now and get him. That like they said, the price could come down due to his injury as well and his growth and all that stuff. Tony says we made Coutinho stay until the next transfer window. Yes, we did, but he was still throwing a tantrum, like him. He wasn't playing at times. He was like a little baby and all that stuff. But
I'd like to think that Salah wouldn't behave the same way. And I'm not saying that out of hope or delusion. I genuinely believe that the man has so much respect for Liverpool Football Club as an institution, for his teammates, for his manager, and for us, the supporters, that I believe he'd give it his all until his very, very last game. So if that does happen and we sanction a move for him to go in January, I can see us kind of it being okay. Not in terms of we get rid of him and we're absolutely fine straight away. But I don't think in the time that we still have him, he'll intentionally drop his levels or throw a tantrum.
He's not like that. I think he's got too much of a legacy for him to do things like that, to be fair.
I still love Coutinho, don't get me wrong, but it really rubbed me up the wrong way and damaged his legacy a little bit.
I don't do that. Listen, with me, once you do that, when he was throwing a tantrum, when he was saying, I'm injured, I can't play, pretending he's sick and all this stuff, that's when I said, you know what, bro? Good luck to you. We tried our best to make you to the player that we want. You messed up. See you later. Sayonara. I hope never to see you again.
I tell you what,
he's never going to be a legend at Liverpool Football Club. Coutinho now. Done.
I tell you what, I'd be much more bitter if him going wasn't a direct result of us bringing in the players we did bring in to build this super team. If he would have gone on at Barcelona and won trophy after trophy and we stayed shit, I'd, to be honest, I'd be livid at him. I'd hate him. But if anything, mate, I just feel sorry for him because Klopp told him what was going to happen to him, and it happened to him.
And it happened to him, Look who it is, Uncle Ross.
It's right.
The legend is here. What's going on, Uncle Ross?
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Man.
It's always a pleasure to be in your both company, man. You know what I mean? I'm just here chilling in the last 2 hours on under 2 hours on my birthday, just chilling still.
Happy birthday, sir. You don't have to tell us your age. You don't have to. I think he's about 25. Is it 25? Yeah. He's 25.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I love that.
Yeah, 27 at a push, I say.
There's a bit of a push. Happy birthday, Uncle Ross. Happy birthday, mate.
Yeah, thanks a lot, mate. Thanks a lot. Listen, at the day, I just come off a thing and I thought, I'll come on my brethren's thing still, because because it's always fun when I come a bit. Always fun when I come on your stream, man. You know what I mean? And it's all good. How you doing? Is it Hayden? It's Hayden, isn't it?
Harley.
Oh, sorry, Harley.
Okay, mate.
Sorry, brother.
What are your names anyway?
Yeah. I'm sweet, Rods. I am sweet, mate. I am more than happy. How are you getting on? I hope you've absolutely enjoyed your birthday to the absolute highest degree. If I wasn't new, mate, I'd have sent you a text. I'd and sang you happy birthday. I'd have sent a cake to your house, everything, mate. But I wasn't aware, so.
He deserves it.
I love this kid. You know, where do you get this kid from? I love this kid.
He's my guy, mate. You know what I mean? He's my right hand man, mate. He worked hard on this channel, mate. We worked hard on this channel. Kid, this kid is amazing, man. And he has his faults, you know, being loyal, but you know. But it's cool. It's cool. So what's going on, Uncle Rose? We were speaking about Salah and the money, Saudi Arabia and all that stuff. The 350 a day and all that stuff. Would a real man like yourself refuse things like that if the club is not showing ambition?
Oh God, it would be hard. But I think the things with Salah, I think that if Salah says something, he kind of sticks to it. That's a good thing about him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He will stick to it. And always think at the end of the day, like, you know, look at this now. Carl said at the end of the day, you know, world. No, not world. It was like a British transfer record for the player. And
it's Uncle Ross's birthday, people. It's Uncle Ross's birthday. Don't forget that, yeah? Don't forget the happy birthday, everyone. You can see the fireworks happening.
Yeah. I like it. I really like that.
Happy birthday to you.
There you go, Uncle Ross. You don't get this anywhere else, mate. You won't get this anywhere else.
Yeah, got the bebs out and everything. Happy birthday to you. Hey, hey.
One more time. Hey. There you go.
Yeah, I like it. Hey, listen, that day. Love you guys, man. I love you guys to pieces.
Oh, I love you too, man.
I love you guys. Love the guys too. I think Salah's, as I say, Salah's the sort of person that if he says something, he means it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Salah's also, like Carcedo. Look at Carcedo. British transfer record. He plays his first game and then for Chelsea, and he literally sort of like was shit. He was rubbish.
I didn't watch it, sorry to interrupt, but apparently he was shit tonight as well. No, Chelsea won 3-0, I think it was, but apparently he was pony tonight.
Do you know, Uncle Ross? You know what they say? They say it was mainly McAllister that made him look as good as he was. That because his calmness and his possession keeping and his, you know, the way he performs on the pitch made Carcedo elevate to the next level. So he needs that type of player next to him. I don't know who plays with next to him today. I don't know. Is it Gallagher or someone like that?
It will be people like Gallagher, but maybe that's the reason at the end of the day why McAllister was trying to fight for him to come to Liverpool.
Yeah.
You know, because McAllister wanted him to come to Liverpool because McAllister kept on telling him, dump your agent. And he wanted him to come to Liverpool. So maybe it could be the main reason because he thought, so look, at the end of the day, with me and you, at the end of the day, me and you and Sabozalai, and we can do big things up here. We can literally rewrite history up here. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, so but he's chose to go there because go there for the money, and we all know that. But he
said that,
he was crap tonight, and he was crap on when he came on against West Ham. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now you're with this club now for 7, probably 8 years now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Now they're stuck with this player. With this dog. Because even if they offer to Carcedo to us now, I don't think we take him. I think we say like, nah, it's all right, man. Keep him. Do you know what I mean?
Chance,
You had your chance. You know what I mean? But like Salah, if we go back to Salah, I don't think Salah will go. I'm pretty sure, and Salah won't go this season. Yeah. But however, it all depends on next season and what happens next season. He might feel it, and they will look. And I've done all I can. Can do this club. I've been loyal enough to the club, right? It's probably time for me to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we don't do too well this season, and like, and the next season he wants to go, I wouldn't blame him. I would say, you know what, Sal? Listen, you've been sort of like an immense servant for us. You've done very well, but like obviously at the end of the day, we have to think of you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And you've been loyal. You haven't done a Coutinho. You haven't done a Torres. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. you've been loyal at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and you put up some really good numbers for us, and numbers. We're gonna miss you, but we can understand why. Obviously you want to go. You understand what I'm saying? So it all depends on what happens this season and with Liverpool of how they progress and what we can win this season. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I was about to come to that. No, sorry if I have interrupted you there, but I was about to present the question of what do we think is for Salah. Say Salah is set on making that decision at the end of the season. What do we think would be the bare minimum for him to turn around and go, yeah, in terms of pure achievements on the pitch, forget the transfers, forget all things like that. In terms of pure achievements on the pitch, what do we think, regardless of what we predict, what do we think would be enough for Salah to turn around and go, wow, do you know what? I want to stay here for at least another season or another 2 seasons or whatever. Is the bar that we simply have to win or be right up there for, say, the Premier League and the Europa League because we're in it? Or would it be like finishing, say comfortably second or third, so easily top 4 but not quite title contenders, as well as either winning or having a good run in the Europa? What I'm trying to get at, without making this any more convoluted than it already is, what if you're put yourself in Salah's shoes, what do you think your bare minimum is to turn around and go, yeah, I want to stay at Liverpool Football Club?
Well, you're gonna have to sort of like, you're gonna have to be winning the Europa Cup, because I think we can win the Europa Cup, because I don't see any teams that sort of like in there or any teams that will drop down in there, right, that we haven't played before and we're being victorious over them. You understand what I'm saying? So winning the Europa Cup would be one, yeah. Picking up like one of the domestic cups, like whether it be the FA Cup or League Cup, picking up one of them, and literally having a really good charge at the day in the Premiership. I'm not saying that we're going to win it, do you know what I mean? But at least if we can come like third or second, you know what I mean? Round about that sort of like mark, yeah.
Can I ask, is this your prediction, or is this what you think Salah would be considered, what he'd need to be convinced?
I think that's what Salah will need to be convinced, because like winning the Europa Cup at the end of the day is although at the end of the day there's teams in there that I feel that we can beat, do you know what I mean? It's still a reasonably good tournament. Yeah, it's only because you think about the Europa Cup, yeah. It's only been downgraded as such. It's because at the end of the day, well, look, people for the Champions League at the end of the day, if they get third place in their group, they get downgraded, they get dropped down to the Europa Cup. You know what I mean? And people think that's good, because they feel that they will look, they get a second chance in Europe. Yeah. But what they don't understand, right, is you're now downgrading a competition which was prestige. Do you understand?
It was amazing. Liverpool have a illustrious history in that as well.
We've won it 3 times, haven't we?
Yeah, 3 times.
3 times.
Honestly,
we had the record for years. We had that record for years until Seville just blew it out of the water.
I'll say this as well. The Europa League is the only major honour that I don't have vivid memories of Liverpool winning. Because in my time of following the club and going to match and being just consciously aware in general of Liverpool Football Club and how much it means to me, I've seen 2 League Cups, I've seen an FA Cup, I've seen a Premier League, and I've seen a Champions League, and I've obviously seen a Super Cup, a Community Shield, and a Club World Cup. Not that there's been more than that in my lifetime. Like I was just about to live in Istanbul. I was like 3 years old in the Gerrard FA Cup final. I'm sorry if that makes anyone feel old, by the way. I'm really sorry about that.
Wow, you know.
That's all right, mate.
But in terms of what I remember,
it's all good.
The first trophy I remember us winning was the 2012 League Cup against Cardiff. And so I've seen 2 of them and 1 of everything else. And the biggest thing I've not seen Liverpool win, and pretty much the only thing, barring the Conference League, which we've never even played in, is that Europa League. I remember getting beat by Sevilla and being absolutely gutted about it. So I honestly, I would genuinely love to win it. So simply, I can add it to the collection of things that I've witnessed in my lifetime. Even better that it's happening over in Dublin as well, because it's only a short plane or a ferry ride as well. So
I agree.
I agree. I agree. I agree, and like that's what I'm trying to say. What we Salah's looking at is the fact that we're not in the Champions League, so the next one on the day will be the Europa Cup. Let's go out and win that. Do you know what I mean? Because that in itself at the day puts us back in the Champions League. You know what I mean? If we win it, yeah. Let's have a good run in the league. You know what I mean, right? And coming like third or second. Let's try and pick up a domestic cup, because what it is at the day, right? You win sort of like Europa Cup and a domestic cup. If you can pick up two, that'd be good. But if you win one of those domestic cup, it's more silverware. And we're already at the day the most successful team in British history. We're the most successful with it. So that makes us more successful. So I think in the day, like Salah will be looking at the day of how we can progress this season and what we can win. And then that might sway him from saying that well, look, you know what, I'm not going to Saudi Arabia. If we finish in a rubbish position in the league, right, we're out of all the cups and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I would be in a situation to say, well, look, fuck this. Do you know what I mean? You know, you'd be like, after a while, you'd be like, there's only so much you can do. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think the more that we can win and the more that we can progress could sway Salah into saying, well, look, right, you know what, this is where I want to be. But I don't see him going this season. You know what I mean? I'll see, if anything, it could be next season.
Okay. Yeah, because I did say, like, if the ambition is not shared with him, if we don't buy those one or two players before the window closes, that window in Saudi Arabia is still open, Uncle Rods. You know what I mean? So that 350 a day with that tax could be tempted. You know what I mean? And in his mind already, he might be thinking, is there a point me staying? You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to stay for? We're not going to compete for the title or anything like that. I'm 31 years old. I'm heading towards 32. You know what I mean? That's the latter stage of my career. Maybe while my legs can still work and operate, maybe I have to make money somewhere else in a 4-year contract or something like that. So this is the way I'm thinking. You know what I mean? But the club has to show ambition, Uncle Rods. They're not showing anything.
No.
After that Caicedo, what's happened though, bro? Like, where's the money? Where's the money, John? I mean, where is it?
I mean, I was looking at thing yesterday, right? I watched that game yesterday with Fluminense and Olympia, something like that. A Paraguay team. It's like, you know, it's Copa de Libertadores. I'll tell you something. Let me tell you something. That Andre is some player. We need to pull out all the stops to get that guy in our team. He is some player. If you'd have saw this guy play yesterday, because he scored the first goal, you see this guy play yesterday and everything like that. He's a complete midfielder. Like, basically, he's a complete DM. Because what it is in the day, what he does, this is what he does. If you look at the game, what he would do in everything that, right, when sort of like the other team, like another team is in possession, what you see him at the day, he will sit back, go right back into centre back. You go right back to centre back and centre back. So they've got 5 back. You know what I mean? And obviously, when they're attacking anything, he'll push forward. Do you know what I mean? So he can actually take a shot on a goal and from that. He's great with a tackle. He's got a touch of an angel. He's literally got a touch of an angel, mate. Yeah. And like, and in possession on the ball, he's amazing. He's some player. And the fact is that he wants to come to Liverpool. That's the thing about it. If we get him and everything that, right, our problems in midfield are literally over. They are over, I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
I haven't watched him, but I'll take your word for it. I mean,
I've only seen, I've only watched a couple, probably 1-2 full 90 games of him, as well as some highlights. So I don't feel like I'm in a stronger position to turn it around and go, yes, this is the guy. I'm so all in on it. I've seen a lot of people hyping his performance last night. I didn't watch that match. 1, because I wasn't aware it was on, and 2, because they've took down all my dodgy streaming sites. I used to watch the South American footy on the
You're not supposed to say that. You don't have to.
Listen, I've got one.
We're going out of business.
You know what it is?
I was going to say,
what is about?
Don't come and kick me door down. I don't watch it anymore. They took it all off me, so you can't arrest me for nothing.
I've got something other day I could pass on to you. Don't worry, watch this, please. I've got something I can pass on to you. I'm gonna take it.
In all seriousness, I haven't seen loads of. I've watched 2 full 90 matches. That's it. He reminds me. I like the player, but I acknowledge the step up from South American football to Liverpool Football Club is quite a steep jump. So I don't feel like I'm in a position where I can turn around and go, "Oh, mate, he's going to be world class." But you can clearly tell he's got a future beyond where he is, and you can see why his club are turning around and saying release clause or no chance.
Yeah,
He said the game he had 2 games. Watched 2 games. One on Saturday night against America GK. So America GK, I think it was. He literally bossed that game, right? And they won 3-0. And then I watched the game last night. Do you know what I mean? Because what I wanted to see in the thing that was the fact that is everybody was going on about this player. I really wanted to see how good he was. Do you know what I mean? So I was lucky enough to be put in this. I made contact with this guy on. He made contact with me on Twitter, and he's a Fluminense supporter. Do you know what I mean? And I was very lucky in the day that he put me in his WhatsApp group. Do you know what I mean? So I'm in the WhatsApp group, and it's basically Fluminense supporters, and so they were saying when the matches were on and everything that, and talk about the players and stuff. So I got a chance at the day to watch the 2 games at the day of this guy Andre, and the 2 games that I did see tells me at the day he's a Klopp player. He's literally a Klopp player and everything.
The reason we're chasing him, but you'll be convinced, like, there's a reason we're chasing this player. Right?
Yeah, there is a reason. There is a reason we're playing, because he is a Klopp player. He does all the things at the day that Klopp would want him to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I think under Klopp and the day he will flourish even more. Because remember, he's like 22, something like that, 22 years old. He will flourish even more under Klopp. Now, what I get to understand that day with the whole deal is like a couple of things, and one of it is that they don't want to lose sort of like Andre, because he's very instrumental in the day in this tournament they're in the moment, and it's a version of Champions League, and I've seen it for myself at the day that that he's instrumental, right? So basically, their season finishes in the Brazilian Serie A finishes in December. So what they're saying today is that, like, if you want him and then you can come from it and in January, right? The other thing is that they're saying, well, if you don't want to wait till January, you can pay the release clause and then obviously in the day he has to go then. If you pay the release clause, he has to go. They got no say in it. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, that's how we got Soboslai and McAllister.
Right. So basically in the day, sort of like that's what you have to do. So basically in the day, it's like it's basically in the day, the ball's gone back to Liverpool's court now. Ball's in Liverpool court now. Do Liverpool want him now, or do Liverpool want him in January? Now, if you want him in January, what I will be doing, if I want him in January, I'll be going back to sort of like Fluminense and signing a pre-contract. So January the 1st, he is a Liverpool player. So every other team hands off, because Man United and they always sort of like nosing around it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right? Of course. As every other team, they use us as scouts, don't they? So
right. So they're nosing around it. So I will be doing that, or the best thing would be to pay that release clause, and he's your player now. You know what I mean? Those are the only 2 things they can do.
And look at the price that Uncle Rod's like. It's not an expensive player, is it? So
no, it's 40 million.
Like you said, he's a dominant midfielder, the type of midfielder that we need right now, and he could cause a little damage in that midfield. As long as we brought an experienced midfielder next to him like Endu, them 2 can complement each other in that position, if you know what I mean. And they're both new players, so they could like help each other. Like Endu, who's an experienced player, can help the younger player who's going to replace him eventually when he becomes to his own. So I'm looking forward to it. If Liverpool are really genuinely interested in this player, go and get him. It doesn't matter how. Just release clause. What is it? 40 million, Uncle Ross? Come on.
It's nothing. It's nothing. Do you know what I mean, folks? It's literally nothing. Just pay the release clause in there and get him in now.
Get it done,
now because he wants to come now, because when you watch the game yesterday, right? The commentator, because I got commentary in English because I can't understand Portuguese. You know what I mean? You know, it's just a lot of gibberish to me. To be honest, no disrespect, but that's how it sounds to me. Do you know what I mean?
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
No, but you know what? Isn't like we need the Spanish. We need the Spanish. Yeah, Spanish, and then you listen to Portuguese, right? There's a vast difference. You can sort of with the Spanish, you can probably get your head around it, sort of like. We're not going to speak it, we can get your head around. But the Portuguese, then all right. Listen, when they say, well, Spanish people say like gracias, right? That is thank you. In Portuguese, it's obrigado.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
There's a big difference.
You see the massive difference they have in some of the words they say. Do you know what I mean? You know. Anyway, so they was doing it in sort of like in English, and every minute they was talking about the fact and Dave, like, you know, if Andre goes to Liverpool, Andre's linked with Liverpool. If Andre goes to Liverpool, do you know what I mean? So everybody knows at the end of the day, right, that Liverpool are thoroughly interested in this player. Don't get the man.
Yeah, it just reminds me of Lavia again, Uncle Ross. That's what it reminds me of while I'm looking at that. We messed up with Lavia, now look what we're doing again. Like we don't. I don't think these owners are serious, guys. I keep telling you this. I don't know how much more I could actually tell you. Redbird says if Salah wants to leave, the Klopp wants to make him stay. Yeah, Klopp is that type of person. You don't agree with him. He said the same thing to Coutinho. Like, we'll make a statue out of you if you stay at Liverpool Football Club. When you go to Barcelona, you're just going to be another player. Where's Coutinho's career right now? Nowhere to be seen. He's gone.
He's injured again, isn't he? He's injured again, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's injured again. He come off the he got put on the other day when they was playing who they was playing the other day? They beat someone the other day. Anyway, the Wolves. That's it. Wolves. Is it Wolves? One of them teams.
One of them teams. I don't remember. I don't know.
Yeah,
he got injured again. Wow.
He got injured. He got brought on as a sub, and he got taken off because he's injured. And apparently, it's a bad injury.
His career is over, mate. You know what I mean? Like, people need to learn from things like that. Like, don't make stupid decisions. Like, you talk about Barcelona, Real Madrid. Yes, it's a dream move to you in your mind, but in reality, they don't take care of you once you go to these clubs. They don't give a damn about you. I mean, so that's what happened to Coutinho. I mean, he thought like he could do something like Barcelona. They're gonna care for him. After 2 bad games, these type of teams like Real Madrid don't give a shit about you. They tell you to get lost. You know what I mean? They get the white handkerchiefs out. You know what I mean? They do this to you. Get out of our club. You know what I mean? That's what they do. Yeah. So, and it doesn't matter how much you cost. It doesn't matter how much you cost. Does it, Uncle Rose? He cost about what? 140.
He cost 145 million. Look at that. Like, I'll tell you what was a defining thing for him that sort of like, you know, that really got him out of Barcelona. It's when they came to Liverpool in the Champions League and played us, and we obviously beat them 4-0. Yeah. A lot of the blame, and then they went on Coutinho, like Messi and some of certain other people, but Messi, you know, Messi was a prime sort of like suspect for it. Was saying that they goes like, you know, that Coutinho should have done a lot better against Liverpool, and literally blame for the defeat. And you know, and then I think the following season,
they got rid.
Yeah, no, the following season, he went on loan to Bayern Munich. Yeah, Bayern Munich. And won the Champions League with Bayern Munich. He even played against Barcelona.
Oh,
and scored. And scored. He scored twice. Yeah.
You know what still upsets me is that final game of the season against Aston Villa Man City when he scored those 2 goals and they took him off, Uncle Rods. They took him off. Honestly, kept him on.
Honestly, I genuinely believe if Gerrard doesn't take Coutinho off the pitch, we win.
They would have won the game.
They would have won the game. Yes.
Come on.
Because not only would it have won us the knock-on effect, I genuinely think the reason we lost that Champions League final was because our players were just mentally out of it.
Drained. They were drained. Like, yeah, of course, man. You lose the league title like that. Last 15 minutes. 2-0 up, last 15 minutes. And we was already saying it in the spaces. We were saying it, Uncle Ross. Like, a lot of us were saying it in the spaces. We could see Coutinho happening in that game. I know, remember? a lot of, especially Ben, who's in the comments, he actually said that. I remember. We could see Coutinho happening, and it happened. And it happened, but look what happens. Redbird says, no good having the firepower if defensively we are short. You're 100% correct, brother. You're 100% correct.
I mean, we could end up just absolutely 2013-14 in our way to a title charge, but it's certainly not going to be ideal, is it?
No. Let's read some of the comments. Trudon says Luton are rubbish.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, they're not good enough, man. They'd be damned before any other team, I think, man. I think they're going to break the record. Tony says they are Luton, Sheffield, Everton to go down. Everton has to go, man. I'm fed up with Everton, man. Just get out of here. Get out of here.
Honestly, they always find a way, don't they? They always find a way. But I'm thinking now, like at the start of the season, I was saying they'll stay up again, but I'm looking at what's going on at the club and I'm just thinking they are a mess. Like, when are they going to do one?
Freaking hell, Tony, how old are you, man? I remember when Keegan left, I was gutted. But who did you get after that? Mr. Kenny Dalglish. The king. That's what you got next. That ain't a bad.
I don't even think I was in my dark sack when Kevin Keegan was kicking about, to be honest.
I was that old. They were his supporters, innit? They loved him. My dad and my uncles. Geordie says, "Yo, big up, Geordie." Thanks for coming on, man. And of course, JK, the regular, one of the best in this YouTube business, especially in the chat. He says, "Bless at Fozzie, you never walk alone." Yes, Uncle Rod's. It's his birthday, people. Come on, man, celebrate it with us. Celebrate Uncle Rod's birthday. Let me leave that fireworks on for him, man.
Thank you very much, sir.
We love him so much. We'll leave the fireworks on for him. Yeah. There you go. Bless up Harley. Yes. Big up Ben. I can't wait when Ben comes on. It's gonna be. He's a bit like you, isn't he, Ben? Harley. He's more positive than negative, and he's a good guy. He's a very good guy.
He does some very good work over on the Anfield Talk on Twitter as well. So
yeah, people go and subscribe to him.
He's an aggregator. He's and he's one of many admins on that page. So I think just about everyone who uses Twitter follows them. But I just want to give Ben that little bit of credit.
Yeah, 100%. I always enjoy it. You know what I like about him, bro? Even if he's the last man standing in an argument, he'll still be there defending himself. You know what I mean? I like people like that.
He reminds me of me a little bit.
Even though I disagree with him or not. Huh? You?
Yeah. He reminds me of me. Just a little bit.
You guys are a bit similar. Yeah, it's true. That's what I said. Like, it's similar to you. If you're wondering what the fireworks is about, it's Uncle Rod's birthday. We're giving him the love that he deserves, man. I bet Madrid will drop into this year's knowing our luck. It means the UEFA Cup, Europa League, innit? They might drop in. Yeah,
right. Honestly.
That would be sad. Rod spending his birthday channel hoping. Yes, he's coming in everywhere, mate. There you go. Mr. Redbird. And Hamza, at the end of the day, big up Uncle Rod's. People, you're getting the love, Uncle Rod's, man, more than us. It's not fair. It's not fair, man. two Uncle Rod's, two back or Biggie Smalls?
Biggie Small.
I'm 2-pack, so yeah, you can tell the difference. But I love Biggie.
I just edge it to 2-pack, but honestly, they're both absolute legends of the game, aren't they?
Yeah, because they're both from New York still. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah. They're both New York.
Everybody thinks because Tupac was doing the LA thing and all that stuff. He's not from LA, guys. He's born in New York.
No, he's from New York. And but you know what it is? I just like Biggie's flow. He just got a good flow, but I just like him.
He's a brilliant what do you call freestyler. You know what I mean? He used to do that in the streets back in the day, and his freestyle is amazing, man.
His parents are from Jamaica.
The Jamaican.
Yeah.
But he was born there. Yeah, so we'll move on to the next thing, which is the preview, guys. We leave the fireworks for Uncle Rod's because he deserves it. Let's go. I love Soboslai, man. His celebrations are the best with the phone and that. Let me take the fireworks out. We do at the end as well for you, Uncle. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
So we're gonna preview the game, obviously. Liverpool and Newcastle. We did that yesterday, but I want to do it with these two gentlemen. You know, some of my favorites on YouTube. We know about Newcastle. They've strengthened, as you can see. Their midfield looks amazing. So if you look at their starting lineup, guys, have they improved on last season, Harley? Are they much better? Can they be a threat to the likes of Arsenal and Man City with this team?
I think ultimately the number one place they've improved is in the middle of the park.
Look at that midfield. Oh, sorry, wrong.
I think
wrong.
absolutely the middle of the park.
You didn't see that, people. Yeah. There you
go. Because bringing in Sonali and having him alongside Bruno Guimaraes, that's big.
We miss that on Guimaraes, man. I still don't understand, guys. I really don't understand.
So I just think that's such a solid midfield. In terms of attack, I said this on our stream, I'll say it again. Maybe he's not useful for all 38 game weeks, but against the high line and against a team like a Liverpool or a City, my God, does Alan Saint-Maximin scare me, and I am so glad that he's gone. I'm so glad that he's gone.
How do you change him with Barnes? I don't understand.
I like Harvey Barnes.
Saudi.
Oh, it's Saudi. Okay.
He joined. Is it Steven Gerrard's team? Is it? I think.
Oh, right.
I don't mind Harvey Barnes as a player. Don't get me wrong, but in a game against us, I feel like not Almiron, he's a good dribbler as well, but Saint-Maximin getting 1v1 via fullback and just having that space in behind, like the skill on that lad is ridiculous. Obviously, his tracking back is nowhere near as good as Harvey Barnes.
Exactly.
But I mean, in a situation where they're going to catch us on the counter, Saint-Maximin's one of the scariest things they have. So I'm so glad that he's gone. I think that'll be very helpful now.
I remember one stage, it was a couple of seasons ago, Liverpool fans was contacting Saint-Maximin saying, like, we want you to replace Mane, didn't they? Because they knew Mane was at the tail end of his career. So they said someone similar, Saint-Maximin, could take his place. But I'm just shocked he's gone to Saudi Arabia at this age. It's weird. It's very, very strange. Uncle Ross, what do you think of Newcastle's team this season, mate? Like, I think they're amazing. I'm just shocked the way that in such a short time they built this team together. Such a short time as well.
Because you know what they've done for that? They've done things the intentional way. They haven't got players what they want. They've got players what they need. Yes. They've got players what they need to take them to the next level. And guaranteed it that they, right, wherever they finish this season, do you know what I mean? Right? Yes, they come out in the knockout stage of the Champions League, yeah?
Yeah.
I guarantee what will happen then next season, they'll buy players at the end of the day, right? Player or players at the end of the day that can get them past that Champions League space and then they past the knockout stage and beyond. So they're literally buying players of what they need. So their midfield at the end of the day looks efficient. Do you know what I mean? It's efficient. Tonali, Bruno Gomes, and so. Do you know what I mean? They've got all of a sudden now. You know what I mean? Joe Linton, he's a good player. All of a sudden now they've got options in their midfield. They literally got options all around.
Bench. Even on the
bench. Well, you see Harvey Barnes, and they will say about Harvey Barnes. I rate that player highly, so highly. I rate Harvey Barnes. I was even thinking, and then why don't we go for Harvey Barnes? Do you know what I mean?
He's quick, strong.
Very quick. Strong.
Can dribble. You know and he scores goals as well. And
that's what I was saying. So
someone coming off the bench, you know what I mean, Uncle Rod? Someone coming off the bench for Diaz.
It's true. I mean, to be honest, when you look at someone like Harvey Barnes, he's probably Saint-Maximin, but with a finishing product.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Because of all sort of like Saint-Maximin's dribbling and his pace and stuff, he couldn't finish. That's one thing about Maximin. He couldn't finish. And for a player like Maximin, he should have scored more goals than obviously what he did. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know? So but when you got Harvey Barnes now, Harvey Barnes that day will finish his dinner.
Yeah.
He will literally finish his dinner. Do you know what I mean? If he's hit and then day with the opportunity, he's gonna finish it. Do you know what I mean? You probably couldn't say the same thing for Saint-Maximin. Do you know what I mean? He's gone to sort of like the Saudi League at the end of the day where, where he's gonna get paid the bucks in the day. And I don't, I don't blame him because he's young, and what he's doing at the day, he's saying, look, this may not be the best league in the world, but I'm going to secure my future.
Yeah.
But getting back to Newcastle, I think Newcastle got like a great side. They've got a great side, but you see what it is, and they always come unstuck, and they from past and present, and they always come unstuck when they come up against Liverpool. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's only like you only had like that time about 8 years ago when Gini Ronaldo scored 2 goals against us when he was always playing with
he chipped
with
the goalkeeper in a little chip. I remember, man.
yeah.
Millionaire, innit? Oh God.
But you know what it was that we didn't really have a good squad at that time. We didn't really have a good goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously those things was going to happen. But after that game, it was kind of like business as usual. We started beating them again, home and away, home and away. Do you know what I mean? I think we're the only team at the day in a sort of like Premiership that's had more.
Season.
Yeah,
I don't think they lost as many teams last season apart from us. Home and away.
Yeah, exactly. But I think we're the only sort of like team in the Premiership that's got these amazing results that we can have. We do have at St James's Park. Other teams they don't seem to have results that we have, but they always seem to wither when they come to sort of like Liverpool, and they always get caught with that ball over the top.
Over the top,
they?
yeah.
Yeah, they always get caught with that.
Because it's a big pitch. It's a big pitch. It's not a small pitch, so it's hard for them to turn around. And when like the likes of Nunes or Gakpo or Diaz is running and Salah is running through, it's hard to catch them because they've got big space behind them. The players could run onto, and they haven't got that blistering pace at the back either. You got Dan Burn, Botman, Sure, Trippier. They're not the quickest players you see in the actual league. So they're not a Van Dijk or Konate or someone like that. You know what I mean? So it's easier to get at them that way.
Yeah, no, I mean, to be honest, today, sort of like, I think that will probably change, later on as, as Eddie Howe really gets into, his tenure at sort of like Newcastle. But for now, at the end of the day, there's still some weak spots, in that Newcastle side, which Liverpool tend to exploit.
Yeah.
Be able to exploit. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, there's always a thing at the day with Newcastle. Even when Alan Shearer at the day was at his best and everything like that, they usually at the day sort of like come unstuck against a Liverpool, whether it be at Anfield or whether it be at St James Park. But as for the team that sort of like Newcastle's got, and they're very right, I'm impressed by it. I'm really impressed by the team.
It's just a short, like I said, it's such a short time as well, Uncle. That's what impressed me more than anything. And the team they're building, I mean, it's crazy, man. Like if they say like money doesn't talk, well, look at Newcastle. Relegation battlers with some of these players that's already in there to challenging for top 4 after the investment. Money talks, people. Money talks.
It might talk, but the only thing that I will say about Newcastle, I mean, yes, obviously money talks. There's no doubt about that. Do you know what I mean? I will agree with you on that 100%. The only thing I'll say about Newcastle is that they spent it wisely.
Yeah,
they spent it wisely. The players that they brought in, and they, as I said,
do you think like Eddie Howe should get credit for that as well, like as a manager? Because people still like saying he might have not done this if he didn't have that money, but you still got to do it. You know what I mean? And he has.
Listen, at the end of the day, he hasn't spent sort of like world records on that.
Kind of word,
yeah. He hasn't spent world record amounts like Guardiola spent 100 million on
two fullbacks.
Two fullbacks. He spent 100 million on a Grealish. Do you know what I mean? And so on. They haven't done that. Some of their players that they like 40 or 50 million, sort of like. You know what I mean? But they've been good players and they nonetheless. Bruno Gomes, I think, only cost 40 million.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't cost a lot. And do you know what I mean? So he's not actually going out and like he's spending money like there's no tomorrow. He's being very shrewd with the players that he brings in. Do you know what I mean? And as I said at the day, when you buy players at the day of what you want, then you're gonna spend a lot of money. You understand me? Yeah. When you buy players that you need, you don't often spend a lot of money. Exactly. And that's the difference. That is the difference. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. They got a good squad in my opinion. So this is what I put for the Liverpool team. That's probably gonna play Harley. Do you agree with me, or are you going to change a few players? I don't know.
See, I only have one change, mate, and that's Jota out for Darwin Núñez.
Yeah.
That's my only thing, simply because of the whole high line thing and the whole kind of aspect of.
You're not the only one. There's a lot of people that actually said that as well.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Honestly, though, mate, we could start in either three and none of them look out of place. That's just my opinion. Jota got a goal and assist last time out.
Yeah.
Gakpo,
that's why I put him in. Yeah.
Gakpo could probably help us control the game a little bit more. So it just depends what we want from it. Do we want someone who's going to be beating the offside trap and pushing on and getting in behind and causing chaos? Do we want someone who's a little bit more going to keep possession of it, or do we want someone who's a little bit in between the two?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure about Konate, innit? We've heard Konate got injured, innit?
Oh, so, yeah, and that I was about to say as well. Konate, if he's fit to play, we play him. But if not, I personally put Matip in, but I seriously see the argument for Gomez. It's really like 50-50 for me. I don't know what you lads think, but
I don't know about Gomez anymore, guys. I really don't know about Gomez anymore. I don't even think Klopp trusts him as a centre back anymore. I honestly don't think even Klopp trusts him as a centre back. From what I've seen,
the thing about him is the fact that it's his recovery pace and his abilities to defend in the wide areas. He's probably more. He's got more of that than Matip, even though Matip is probably the better 1v1 defender. So it's one of them with Gomez where he did. A lot of people won't realise this or necessarily admit it, but Gomez did have some really good games last season as well as some really bad. I actually thought he was really good at Newcastle away last season. I think he did have a handful of good games as well as quite a big handful of shockers as well. And the problem is you need that consistency, don't you? Yeah. And you don't want to be rolling the dice every time you play him, particularly when obviously we've got Van Dijk, touch wood, but particularly when we don't have Van Dijk. So
big problems, isn't it? JK says my brother actually did the suits for Callum Wilson's wedding. Wow. Yes, JK. Dark horse over there, eh? I like that. I like that a lot. So you can see the formation, guys. So obviously Alisson in goal. This is what we could do because we found out, a few players are injured. We'll just talk about tactical bits. Trent as a right back, you agree, of course. I don't know if anyone can, or do you want Gomez as a right back, Uncle Rods and Harley?
Nah.
No? Okay.
Keep Trent there. Let him do the convert and stuff.
Okay, it's between you two. You have to agree. Matip or Gomez?
I vote Matip, but seriously, if I could see an argument for both.
Matip all day long. I think Gomez is better as a fullback than what he is as a centre back.
Spot on.
So for me, sort of like Matip all day long. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
But to put the two big men in there, you know what I mean, so they can challenge. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I remember Matip last season. We were struggling. He came on, I think, the West Ham game. He scored a goal. And I think we ran like 10 games or something unbeaten, didn't we, with Matip at the back? So it shows like he can perform if he has to. Fullback, Tsimikas or Robertson?
Robbo, 100% Robbo.
Both of you, or
wouldn't you give like Simi a go? Do you know what I mean? To sort of like, I know that Robertson's, don't get me wrong, Robertson's a terrific left back, but I'm just scared of Robert getting burnt out too quick.
It looks like he's burning out as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The thing is with Robertson for me though is I feel like after such a fantastic performance at Bournemouth, I feel like you kind of have to carry on with that with momentum because he's been struggling to get fully in tune.
Yeah.
So I think now would be the worst possible time to drop him or rest him.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I also think while we're having these games only once a week rather than 2 games in a week, we probably stick with Robbo, and then when the fixtures start coming in thick and fast, that's when you start considering, okay, Robbo for this one, Costas for this one.
Can Thiago make it to the bench? Guys, can Thiago make it to the bench or not?
Klopp
said he's not trained, and he won't train until Monday.
Obviously, DM is this guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Endo, yeah. Put him in.
So Soboslai this side or this side?
I
said this side because he could come in from the obviously left hand side, shoot, score goals from there. Because when he's on the right side, he has to go up and down, innit? So that's more suited to McAllister, if you know what I mean, guys?
Yeah, I think he's been playing that right side because McAllister's been holding.
Yeah. But McAllister did say his position is the right side, didn't he? That's what they agreed on. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I think McAllister on the right, mate.
So would you play him on the right, Harley?
I would. And part of me reasoning for that as well is out of their two fullbacks, it's Trippier who goes up the most. So if we can overload them with Robertson, Szoboszlai, Diaz, then I think we could really catch them out there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll go with that.
Okay. The striker, guys. So you want both of you want Nunes or someone else?
Nunes.
Let Uncle Rose go. Nunes, yeah.
No. I agree with Harley. I agree with Harley. Yeah? Nunes, yeah. I agree with him 100%. We've got to start giving him games, man. Yeah, there's no point in having a 85 million striker on the bench. I don't see the point in that. You've got to start giving him games. You know what I mean?
I think now's one of the best opportunities he'll get. We mentioned earlier, Fozzie, didn't we, that if it wasn't for the red card, we definitely would have got more minutes in the Bournemouth game at Anfield.
That's why I said he shouldn't be pissed off. It's understandable. Like, if we conceded goals in that last 15 minutes, Liverpool probably will fall apart. You know, 10 men, and Liverpool always have this tendency of like dropping deeper, and then the team scores, equalizer or something at the end. But the left-hand side, who do you want? Gakpo, Diaz, Jota,
Diaz for
Jones.
No doubt about it for Diaz. Jones is again.
Don't forget, this guy is originally a left winger as well.
Yeah, Jones.
And Jota, from his goal scoring a bit, he's come from the left to score goals as well.
It's got to be Gakpo, mate. I'm sorry, I'm having Gakpo on the left. I'm sorry, Gakpo on the left.
I put Diaz there personally, simply because he's been that good. He's our most informed player, in my opinion. But
2 goals, 2 games, 2 goals. Is that why? Yeah. Oh, okay.
And his performance as well. I thought he was electric.
But the thing is, it's a big pitch. It's a big pitch, though, isn't it, guys? Like, and the thing with Diaz at the moment is that relationship. It's not there yet. Remember Mane and Robertson up and down together. That doesn't exist anymore. You know what I mean? With Diaz, he's good going forwards, good getting goals, but that relationship ain't there no more. That's what we need from these two to have. With Gakpo, he's a hard worker anyway. He plays, so it shows when he plays in midfield, he's a hard worker. So he might build a relationship with him, if you know what I mean, which we're missing. Mane and Robertson.
I do honestly think if Klopp does decide to go with Gakpo and Nunes on the pitch, he'll put Nunes on the left. I think he's decided that when Gakpo plays, he plays in that.
He's been playing here recently, hasn't he?
I mean, when he's in the forward line, though, because we've had to use him as a last resort in the midfield.
Okay, I'll go with Uncle Rose with this one.
You know what it is? Yeah. You know what it is at the day, right? Is coming to think what Harley's just said at the end of the day, right? Probably goes back to what you said about Robertson. When a person's informed, what's the point of actually changing them in form? Now, Diaz has scored 2 and 2. So you can always put Diaz there and have Gakpo on the bench. Do you understand what I'm saying? To come on later.
It's good to have these options, though, isn't it, guys?
Like, it's a very good healthy.
Us debating it shows like the strength we have up front.
Yeah, it's a very healthy headache. But I'm just thinking of what Harley said earlier on in relation and the day to sort of Robertson and what he said about Diaz, and probably he'll be more prudent to go with Diaz because Diaz at the day.
But the thing is, like I said, Uncle Rose, what worries me is this relationship. It's not there yet. Why is it not working?
The relationship at the day between him and Robert, and it's actually not that bad because what it is at the day when Diaz first come into the squad you know what I mean? They linked up like that, and everybody was amazed at how they linked up so well because obviously, and then one speaks Scottish and then one speaks Spanish. You know what I'm saying? It's like how they're able to sort of communicate like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think at the day, so Robertson is that sort of player at the day, right? He's just that sort of player that can gel with anybody. He just gels with everybody. Do you know what I mean? Even when when Gakpo was on the left and then right. And that first goal against Man United, you know what I mean? like Gappo told him where to pass the ball and just bang, passed it there,
Beautiful
straight
pass,
there.
man. Beautiful
Beautiful
pass.
pass. So you're not going to lose anything realistically. Excuse me, with Diaz being on the left. I just think it might be prudent at the day to keep Diaz on the left wing because at the day he's been playing well, and he can always bring on Gap a bit later. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Either for your Nunes and Nunes, or either for like for your Diaz. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to be burning out your players and stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? So it might be prudent to sort of like leave that attack like that with Diaz there, Diaz, Nunes, and then they and Salah, because even that attack there, that's a good attack, you know.
I'm telling you, mate.
That's a good attack, you know. Don't sleep on that, you know.
Do you guys think, Harley, in regards to the midfield, it's where the game's going to be won in here? They got obviously what's his name, Tonali, Joe Linton, and Ramirez. Do you think these three have to battle these three in order for us to win this game? Is this where the game is going to be won, in this area here?
It's certainly going to be a factor. Is
this where the battle's going to win, guys? Like this here, in this.
It's certainly a big factor. It might not necessarily be everything, but if one team steamrolls the other in that part of the pitch, then you've got to look at that team as someone who not only control the game, but be every favourite to go on and win it. It's why I feel having the calming presence of Endo, who's a natural and calm defensive midfielder, will be very helpful. Hopefully he does as well as he can in his first, probably assuming he starts his full, longer than a half of football, because we've not seen him play much more than half an hour in a Liverpool shirt.
Yeah.
Having McAllister there to not only be able to control the tempo, but not have to worry about the burden of defending as much, as well as the utter brilliance of Szoboszlai. Like I think that's a brilliant little midfield three. Yeah. So while I do think, I'd probably say that's the main factor. We need Alexander-Arnold to be on it. We need our forwards to be on it. We need to be beating the fullbacks 1v1. We need to make sure our fullbacks aren't getting beat, and we need to make sure we're not getting caught on the counter. And make sure
Newcastle, this is where they leave the gap, like Uncle Ross was saying earlier, where I put that line there. This is where the space is always at. I mean, so we need balls for this gentleman here that goes through on goal. We need balls over the top, over this line here, for him to get to it and get the goals. So I've been saying for a while, and I'm still sticking by it, guys. I think Trent, that inverted role, is a thing of the past now. I don't see him affecting the games anymore. I don't know. It's been 2 games. Have you guys seen Trent, or am I just seeing a different game here?
No, you're right. You're right.
He does invert a lot. I expect to be able to see that when he does kind of invert. I think now that we have Endo, I think we'll be much more natural. Having a defensive midfielder who knows what it's like to be a right back, who knows what it's like to be a centre back, because he has played them positions. So I feel that when either Robertson or Trent go too far forward, not too far forward, but have the freedom to roam as the tactics allow them to do so, he'll cover the spaces that need to be covered. He'll step in the back three during build up. He'll cover Robertson's position if he has to. He'll cover the right back area, particularly if Matip can, or it's not practical for Matip to be going up and down out wide, then back to his position.
Yeah.
I also feel like it would be very important to have McAllister cover the defensive half spaces.
Well, we know he can play DM, so his defensive side ain't that bad then, is it? If you could play DM,
that's what I'm saying.
If you could trust him in the DM position, so playing as a right-sided midfielder ain't going to be that bad for him, is it? So,
or even if,
but the thing is, the most important thing is with him, Harley, and these three, him, Szoboszlai, and Endo, they're good at keeping possession, right? They keep the ball more, so they won't lose the ball a lot. So they don't have to be going up and down a lot. So now we've got the 3 together that we wanted. Maybe the ball will be sticking more than the ball drifting to the other team, and us running back and struggling the whole game. You get what I'm saying, guys?
Yeah, 100%. It'll be very important, even if you switch Szoboszlai and McAllister, hypothetically, say McAllister's left, Szoboszlai's right, just hypothetically, I think that would really help Robertson, simply because you can have if Robertson bombs forward and he's doing his thing, you can have Endo drop into the not back three, if you want to call it that. Do you know what I mean? He can cover them positions, and McAllister can cover the Endo. So there's not a big gap in front of the back line as well, and that simply allows Robertson. It gives him less pressure on being able to having to get back, and then when he does get back, obviously we can go a little bit more back to normal. But they need to cover for each other. Yeah. They need to cover for each other.
But as we discussed before, guys, like with Newcastle or any other team right now, these two are more freer than they've ever been before, because these guys can create chances as well. You know what I mean? We don't have to worry about them two creating chances. Now that we've freed them up, they could play their old games, like when they used to switch balls to each other and get a cross-field pass and get a through ball towards Nunes so he could break the line and score a goal. We could do things like that now. You know what I mean? We don't need to worry about Trent getting inverted or Trent creating chances 24/7. Because Szoboszlai can do that, McAllister can do that, Endo can do that now. So the pressure is off all of them lot. So I mean, these players that used to double up on them, no more. Now these guys can do their own thing. So
yeah, I was going to say that you won't have people doubling up on Salah as much anymore when you've got Szoboszlai and Trent cutting around on that right side.
No. Look at that gap at the back. Go on, Uncle.
I think in the days, listen, I think in the day you either have Trent at right back, or Trent in midfield, not this inverted thing, because I know what people are saying, but I realise that in the day sort of like it leaves too much space behind, you know what I mean? And Trent is not the best at defending. We all know this. Do you know what I mean? He ain't no secret. You know what I mean? And then what happens at the day is just like, when you play teams like Aston Villa, like we did at obviously one of the games of last season. You know what I mean? Towards the end of the season, I may say. What was happening today was that Aston Villa was just pushing him back.
As the last game as well, don't forget, one goal was disallowed and one goal he made a mistake. Basically, both goals.
Was that the Aston Villa game?
Was that the last game, which is against Bournemouth. They scored that goal because of him getting the ball in midfield and losing it. When Alisson passed the ball to him, and I think there was one that was disallowed as well because of him as well. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
People push on him all the time.
Yeah, because what they were doing, I think, they're just pushing back, and they weren't allowing him to get forward. Yeah. And I think at the day, so like if you got him in midfield already, and then you got a right back, right? You know what I mean? They can't push him back like that because he will have the license to roam forward, because at the end of the day he knows he's got cover behind him. You understand what I'm saying? He's got cover. Yeah. But it's where the fact that he doesn't have this cover. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It worked all right in a couple of games, right? But then after that, it just didn't work anymore. So I'm not really too keen on this inverted right back, because what it is at the moment is just going back to sort of the same problems we had before when Trent was at right back. Him sort of like bombing up midfield, and it was sort of like, it was literally at the end of the day sort of like put a space behind him. So what people were doing at the day was lofting that ball over the top. You know what I mean? And people was just running into space, collecting that ball. Next minute, they got a counter attack going off, right? Because Trent's on the field. This is probably why at the end of the day that he wants to buy another centre back. It could be the reason that they sort of like he wants to probably pay like a free at the back, because that's the only way I see it working. If you pay free at the back, that's the only way I see it working. Because at the end of the day, sort of like when he bombs forward, and another centre back will just drift over there and cover that space what he's left. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
And then when he does come back, then at the day you got sort of like 5 at the back then. So you're doubly stronger. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the only way I see that inverted sort of like right back working at the end of the day if we're paying 3 at the black. But Klopp ain't gonna play that. Klopp at the end of the day, he's a system man. He's gonna stick to the system at the day that he feels at the day that can get him by. That he feels that that he knows at the day that's got him to where obviously he is now, and they in winning games and winning titles today, right? But sometimes just sometimes out there you have to change up things in order to progress. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You can't be doing the same thing all the time because people work you out and they know exactly how to play you. And that's what happens when it comes to Aston Villa. And it happened to quite a few games. They just push Trent back. You know, like, because what they was doing in there, they was exploiting the space behind him. So you had to constantly get back. So in the end, he just said, like,
and
you know what?
Konate had to come out every time, and there's a space here. Yeah. Look, the space right there for the team to score a goal. There you go.
And that's the thing. And in the end, what he said in it, so I might just stay here then. I might just stay here because at the end of the day, right, every time I move forward and think that, right, the space behind me is getting exploited. I might just stay here. Do you know what I
mean? Can you just drag Matip back to where he was, if you don't mind?
Sorry?
I was talking to Fod, just wanting to move Matip back to where he was so I could kind of give it a little bit of a visual. And then you have Trent, who tucks back in into the inverted role. Yes, that's what I was thinking. In moments where Matip might find himself, or whoever that centre half is, might find themselves in a bad position, and Alexander-Arnold's way in the middle of the park, and we lose the ball or something goes wrong. What I like is in Endo, we've got a player who, to some degree, has played centre back.
Yeah.
So I really like the aspect of having him be able to, in a worst case scenario, drop back and cover that space and be comfortable.
And these two are very energetic players, aren't they? Szoboszlai and McAllister. McAllister's been playing that role.
I was about to bring that up. Yeah. So everyone comes back, and like McAllister comes, and he can come fill that space, and as everyone shacks back, you've essentially got there. Everyone covers for each other, and that's what I find really important. When
sorry to cut across you. So at certain times, at the end of the day, we could be playing at the end of the day a 3-3-3.
Yeah.
Sort of like, yeah.
In moments, it's just a case of as I say, when you're in a situation where you've been caught out, you've lost the ball in possession, or you're getting caught on the counter, whatever. It's important the players can temporarily drop into positions and be comfortable there, because and Trent's touched on this, and with Konate, that sometimes when Konate's had to go out wide, he's even found himself in the centre half position. Particularly when McAllister was the defensive midfielder. Now I don't particularly like the thought.
But the thing is, what I like
that's why I like the thought of having someone like Endo who can do that, and Trent doesn't have to worry about it.
You know what? Like Uncle Ross just made a comment about that, and I like that comment because, like, during the games, we could switch like this. Look, like you guys said, he can play centre back as well, so he could just move into the middle. These two, if we're like deep line defending teams or whatever it is, just pack the midfield, do the same thing. But these two will have the freedom to go in the wings and get some crosses in the box for these three. You know what I mean?
So,
I can see us doing a lot of with Bosley. You know, Henderson used to really go out on the touchline, and hold that kind of width. I can see him doing that to enable both Trent and Salah to cut inside.
He could even do that. He stays in the defensive role during the games. You could just switch everything around. You got options, guys. You got actual options.
All Klopp had to do is say to sort of like, you know what I mean, to end doing everything that, right?
Yeah.
Is like when you're not attacking as such, you drop back into centre back position. Yeah. And then at the day, so like it allow Trent and Day to go out the wings in the day, right? It will allow sort of like obviously, you got like Robertson to go out the wings, because it doesn't really matter with Robertson, because I know Robertson. What I find out with Robertson today is like he's a better defender than what Trent is. You understand what I'm saying?
You know, with you guys, the genius of you guys talking here made me think about this as well. If you look at that formation right there, he can play right back too. And do. People don't even know that. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
So Trent can just step into the midfield with McAllister. You know what I mean?
Well,
and then
if you don't mind,
free up Szoboszlai, have him a free role. He could take shots from outside.
Can you just move a couple of things around there for me, because it's so close to something I wanted to get across?
Go on.
Move if you don't mind, move Endo back to the right centre back position.
Right
if
centre
you
back.
wouldn't mind. Yeah.
Who's in the
Just
middle?
next to Mata.
We should be managers, you know that, innit?
Yeah.
And if you just move Robertson up behind Diaz, so so he's on the touchline, and then move Szoboszlai out wide and bring Trent a little bit more central, please. So what you've got there that I really like about this is you've got the element of Endo. He's covering them spaces that we worry about. Alexander-Arnold can invert and do all the amazing things he's so good at.
Yeah.
And then if you look at Robertson up there, it's not as much of an issue because of the players that are back, and he can do his game. He can go forward in moments. And then Szoboszlai holding that width enables Salah and Trent to cut inside. You've got Núñez and Salah. They're the two best attacking out goal scorers that we'll have on the pitch.
You guys are killing it. Yeah, I've got to be honest. You two are killing it in this such because if you look at during the games, think about it this way: you're losing a game, you're winning a game, or you're drawing a game. You've got different formations to play. You know what I mean? Like to get that game, over the line or win that game back or something like that.
It's like a lopsided 3-2-3.
And what have all these players got? All these players got in common? They don't stay in one position. You could change them up in any position. That's the most important thing.
Mate. And the thing is as well, you can have Salah go to the touchline and Szoboszlai cut in, and then because all of them can operate in wide areas. And he's even played as a number 9, like the one who Firmino role before Szoboszlai as well. So he could play that role.
Yeah, he's a very first. Szoboszlai in the day is a very first player. See what it is. I would say the magic at the day of sort of like what we got at the moment. We got a lot of versatile players at the day that can offer something different within the game. Do you know what I'm saying? With a bit of rigging and jigging. Do you know what I mean? Also different. And it'd be really good at the day if we can get like Manuel Coney in, because he's another versatile player. And I hear at the day like they're gonna make a bid for him. I hear they're gonna make a bid.
There's a lot of reports coming out recently.
Right. Now, if we can get someone like him, in the day, right, that adds to our versatility in the day. So when certain games at the day, we can sort of like change it about, and we can probably more or less win the game. Do you know what I mean? So it's a beauty about our team at the moment when you think about it, right? It may be thin. Do you know what I mean, right? But at the end of the day, we have got versatile players in it, so you can understand Klopp's method and his madness in buying someone like Ender, which is 30 years old. You understand me? Because he can fill in many parts.
Well, the thing is, Uncle, we all said we needed an experienced player in that midfield anyway. You know what I mean? So, as well as a young one. So
I'll say as well that the great thing about having versatile players is that in modern football, particularly if you want to play modern football to the highest level and compete on all fronts, there's no such thing now in modern football, particularly in attack, as formations as such anymore, because things are so multifaceted and players find themselves interchanging so much. It's like a combination. It's got elements of total football in, but not entirely. But it's kind of the sense that at any given moment you can find this player holding width on this side. This side. And then that part player's cutting in, and then they kind of swap in terms of who's holding the width and who's not. And again, this whole back three thing that people talk about, it's so fluid. It's so fluid because at one moment Robertson can be there receiving in the build-up, and the next you can have Endo drop into that position, McAllister drop deep, and Robertson's flying up. Because there's no.
That's why I said all I want the fullbacks to do, Harley and Rod's, like, is go back to do what they used to do before, flying forward, hitting crossfield passes, complementing each other during the game. That's what I want them to get back to. All this inverted stuff, it worked to a certain time, but we don't need to go there anymore. Let's just get back. We've got the right players in that midfield. Let's get back to what we used to do and start performing like the team that we was, that gelled together. That's what I want to go and see.
I think I do like the inverted stuff with them, but the thing, you need to build everything around that, and I feel as though we're going to do a good job at that. And that's what I'm saying about being able to have the fluidity to drop in the build-up, and the players needing to understand each other as well, because that will help. It's all about structure, and players being used to the system, as well as adapting, tweaking the system as we go along. And that how I've kind of put it across is how I see it from a tactical standpoint. It's
look at the
just
option
so
of the
fluid.
bench as well. Look at the option of the bench, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? If the game doesn't go right, this guy can come on, drop deep, collect the ball, run at players, pass it to to the wingers as well. So we've got options, bro. We've got 100%. Options. We've got,
it's all just so fluid. The players play in so many different little like roles and positions. As I say, it's impossible in modern football to put something down and go, this is definitely a 4-3-3 or this is definitely a 3-2-2-3. The truth is, we can put labels on things, but ultimately football, particularly at the highest level, is so multifaceted that it's very, very hard to kind of be able to stick a group of numbers and just go, yeah, that's what we're playing. Because it's so much more complicated than that. And player positions are so much more complicated than that. Some people get confused and think Trent's a midfielder. He's a right back. People get confused, think Robertson's a centre back. He's a left back. Ultimately, mate, it's so fluid that you can't really put as much a label on it.
No, it's facts. I think that's how the modern game, as it were. I think that's how it's moved on, because no longer are you required at the end of the day to play your position. Do you know what I mean? You're required at the end of the day to sort of like to play a multiple positions at the end of the day. Be sort of like familiar with playing like a centre back. Be familiar with playing like a right back, left back, and midfield. Do you know what I mean? And that's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? Like attackers are probably supposed to be expected to play as wingers, out and out strikers, number 10, number 9s. Do you know what I mean? It's just a sort of like the game as we know it is not as simple as it was. Do you know what I mean? Because players are required to do a number of jobs now. Do you know what I mean? That's why you can get so many different sort of like formations. Like last night in the feet, like they was playing like a 4-4-2, but it looked like six people literally 6 people at the back, and obviously 2 up front. Do you know what I mean? So it's really kind of like really amazing at the day of how sort of like the game is elevated, and we can actually sort of like get more out of the game as such. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. If you're like a DM, don't expect that you're going to be playing DM all the time. You'll probably be called to play as a centre back. You'll probably be called to play as a right back, and so on.
I like our team. I really, the more like we did that tactical thing, it made me think about it a lot. Not a lot of teams have what we got as well, like in regards to players playing in different positions and all that stuff. So even if players get injured, you've got the cover there now. You know what I mean? Compared to previous seasons. So we've got that firepower in there. Well, we just have to add a few more players. But guys, I've enjoyed this. As you can see on the screen, that's the next thing that's going to happen on Sunday. The watch along. Saturday, we're going to take a break. Then me and Harley will be back on Monday doing our stuff on 9 o'clock. Then Tuesday, we'll be back doing our 2:30 things again. But yeah, Uncle Rods, where can people find you? We need to do that thing for him. It's his birthday. So, how many minutes to go? Uncle Rods? Not long, is it? Half an hour?
You got 32 minutes. You got 32 minutes.
Is it still your birthday? Let me bring it back. Go on, Uncle Rods.
Yeah, man. Listen.
I'll go up in the loft and get the fireworks out now. Would you blow them off in here?
Listen, I got my panel debate show tomorrow evening. So if you're free tomorrow evening, Fuzzy and Harley, give me a shout. I'll send a link out and you can jump on. Then obviously I've got a match preview in the daytime. Do another one with that at 3 o'clock. Then on Sunday, obviously the watch along show. Then Monday back with a reaction, and then back with the red and blue show, and then we go on from there. You can find me at Anfield Uncle Rods on YouTube on the road to 1K. You know what I mean? Yes. So come and find me on there, hit a like and subscribe on there. I'm also on Instagram, Anfield Uncle Rods, and I'm on Twitter as well. Anfield Uncle Roz. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can find me on all those free platforms. And listen, please, guys, like and subscribe to LFC Reds Forever.
Jake is
Really.
laughing at the fireworks. He loves it. Thank you, Uncle Ross. I appreciate that.
Yeah, brilliant channel.
Thank
Always,
you, man.
you always, obviously, you got Harley on there that sort of like brings out some brilliant stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it keeps
Thank you.
people like myself on my toes and everything that, because very interesting debates and everything that. And as I said, with Harley and the day, he may be young, but he knows his stuff.
Yes, sir.
He knows his stuff. No, serious. You know his stuff. What you don't know about football, mate, is not worth knowing. Put it that way.
Well, I appreciate that a lot.
No worries.
Where can people find you, Mr. Halle?
Oh, hello. People can find me. Yeah, I'm gonna get it right. Balls. There has LFC 97 on Twitter. You can come and follow me on there if you want to see what I've got to say about things. To be honest, it's mostly just me having a go. People who are Klopp out and begging for a spare ticket for Newcastle on the weekend. If anyone does happen to have a spare ticket for Newcastle away on the weekend, please get on there and please message me. I'm getting desperate now. But ultimately, the most important thing is go and subscribe to this channel, like notifications on. Go and subscribe to Anfield Uncle Rod's absolute legend. I've been meaning to get on his channel as well. Both of these lads, absolutely fantastic. They know their stuff as well. Great content creators, great people. So
appreciate that, bro.
Do yourselves a massive favour and do these guys a massive favour as well, and subscribe to both this channel and Anfield Uncle Rod's as well. So that's what you should do.
Yes, people, we come to the end. It's the daily things we're doing. So I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's been long, but you deserve it. After that microphone performances recently, you deserve it. And we brought you a good show, I thought. We went from, obviously, Klopp's press conference that we couldn't actually do the audio, but I'll fix that for next time. We talked about it, to the transfers, to, the actual formations and, the tactics after that as well of both teams, Liverpool and Newcastle. I hope you enjoyed it. But let me bring in, obviously, the guys again, man. Come on, man. We have to celebrate Uncle Rod's birthday. Come on. We can't let him go like that.
Make the most of them 29 minutes, mate. Make the most of them.
Listen, thanks. Listen, I just got to say as well, thanks to everybody that joined my show, and I was in the chat earlier on to celebrate with me my birthday. It meant a hell of a lot to get all these birthday wishes from everybody. It meant a lot, do you know what I mean? And people that actually come on and take time out of their day to sort of like wish me happy birthday. It meant a hell of a lot. As I said it today to Ensman, I did that show literally at the spare in a moment. Do you know what I mean? And the response that I got and they was just overwhelming. I was literally humbled. Do you know what I mean? And so I'd like to say a special thanks to everybody that joined my show earlier on, whether you was in the chat or whether you actually called in. Everybody, so literally too much people to mention. Do you know what I mean? So can't go through more. But yeah, special thanks to everybody, and thanks for wishing me a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Uncle Albert. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip.
Hooray.
Hip hip.
Hooray.
Hip hip, one more.
Hooray.
Okay, people, we're out of here. Take care, everybody.
Thank you very much, everyone.